Are we streaming already? Nope, it still says offline. Uh, how do I refresh? It already says streaming. Wonder what's wrong. Hey everyone, and I'm not sure if it is because I am on a stream delay. Just gonna check restream. I'm gonna check restream for a bit. Ba, 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 ba. So I thought about taking a quick break from my work. I am currently encoding a lot of stuff, paperwork and everything. And oh, yep, it is already sending data. Restream.io and sign in. So there. I am going to do a couple of sound checks. I'm hoping that I am able to hear something. Well, wow, this is so. Wow, the audio is so low. Okay, I think I got it right. I think I got it right. Let me just check the audio.
Two
No,
great
I'm not
smartphone
hearing
devices, 4
anything.
years pushing the boundaries of each other and what a smartphone can be. Competition in this space is getting fierce year after year,
Testing.
and who knows what the future holds. But right now, these two stand at the top. One device continues to refine, meticulously crafted, every external detail perfected. The other, it
How
reinvents
about this
itself,
one? Let's
pushing
see
new
if my
features,
voice is
driving
still
innovation
audible,
forward.
but at the same
But while
time.
one excels in productivity, maximizing its processing power, the other is a canvas designed for simplicity and creativity. This is my comparison review. The Galaxy S25 Ultra versus
I
the
think
iPhone
this is
16
the
Pro.
right
Two
balance
of the
for
best
voice
smartphones money
and
can buy, but
the
which one delivers the most
video.
complete experience?
Okay, I guess we're ready. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Raxus, and I'm just taking a break from all the encoding that I've been doing. I'm actually on a deadline because tomorrow I'm going to be submitting my paperwork, but sometimes you need a break every now and then. But I will be glad when I'm finally able to finish my report. Now, a couple of days ago, I posted an infographic about Samsung and Apple iPhone 15, and I found a YouTuber by the name of Alex Gear and Tech, and he kind of presents a very good comparison between the two. I'm gonna make it a bit bigger, put it on the lower side here so that you can see, and maintain my screen over here. Okay, so we're just gonna take a look at his video. If you like his video, then do please subscribe to him and watch the whole video without my commentary, because I will be taking breaks every now and then to comment on what seems to be better, iPhone 15 or the S25. Now, I will be a bit biased because I have been a Samsung user for more than a decade now. My first Samsung was the Samsung 6300, and back then the phones were more of functionality rather than it actually combined functionality and design. We had weird looking phones back then. All right. Now every smartphone looks similar with the same features, with the same camera at the back. Before we would have funny looking phones that looks like a safeguard soap phone. So yep, things were different back then. Anyway, let's take a look at the video, and he is actually comparing the S25 Ultra and the iPhone 16 Pro Max. And he actually has very good points when comparing both, and he's actually an iPhone user much more than a Samsung user, if what from what I'm seeing is correct. Okay, let's see. There we go. Okay. It must be nice to be a
Two
tech
great
reviewer.
smartphone devices, 4 years pushing the boundaries of each other and what a smartphone can be.
Again, like and subscribe in his channel. Watch the whole video there. And, you know, give him the likes because he's very good.
Competition in this space is getting fierce year after year, and who knows what the future holds. But right now, these two stand at the top. One device continues to refine, meticulously crafted, every external detail perfected. The other, it reinvents itself, pushing new features, driving innovation forward. But while one excels in productivity, maximizing its processing power, the other is a canvas designed for simplicity.
So that seems to be the common features of both. Samsung gives you a lot of customization. If you are well versed in using the Android OS, you will be able to modify it to the point wherein it would fit your specific needs. While iPhone maintains a tight clamp on the operating system, it is geared more for simplicity, for people that like no frills, don't like to customize it that much under the hood. But iPhone does offer a lot of themes that you can customize your user interface. Other than that, iPhone sticks pretty much to simplicity
And creativity. This is my comparison review. The Galaxy S25 Ultra versus the iPhone 16 Pro. Two of the best smartphones money can buy, but which one delivers the most complete experience? And more importantly, which one is the best value for you?
Now, before we start, I know battery life has always been a big question, especially on this channel when I'm complaining about battery all the time. But since I'm not using the Pro Max this year, I won't be doing a direct battery comparison between these two. I will, though, talk about battery life in isolation for both phones where it makes sense. With that out of the way, we're covering design, display, cameras, performance, gaming, AI features, and much more. And by the end, you will know the pros and cons of each device and exactly which one is worth your money as well. At least I hope so. Let's start with the basics. Design and build quality. Both of these phones are built like every piece of tech should be.
So price-wise, I think Samsung is a bit more expensive compared to the iPhone 15 Pro Max, due to the fact that if you're talking about the maximum specs of each flagship phone, Samsung definitely cost more
These days, but they take very different approaches. Apple, as always, plays it fairly safe here, but refined from previous models. It feels like a refined 15 Pro. Or Samsung leans into a bit more functionality and more of a bolder statement here.
Now, when I say going for a bolder statement, I mean this comparatively with the S24 Ultra, going for this flat screen and the rounded corners here. feels to me like a much bigger departure from a design perspective.
The iPhone 16 Pro keeps that titanium frame from last year. It's lighter, feels just as premium as the 15 Pro did, and Apple has slightly tweaked a little bit the contours as well to make it more comfortable to hold. And you do feel that. The buttons, yes, I include the camera control button as a button here. It's very tactile and, you know, cool.
So iPhone has included the camera button, but most Android phones, no, some Android phones already have it. But I think Samsung had one, but later removed it and replaced it with something else. Then they stuck to the software side of having a camera button.
Cool to have, I guess. Not that useful for me. I haven't actually used it for months. I can't remember last time I actually tried to use it. And I think
Yeah, that's the point. Like the action button is definitely a niche thing. Not a lot of people use it, which is why some Android phones company remove their action buttons and stuck more with the software function of double clicking the power button instead.
I think that's true for a lot of iPhone users. At least a lot of the ones that I spoke to never use the action button or the camera control button.
And that's kind of it. you know, it feels really nice and it's a refined design, but feels quite meaningless to me.
This can be subject to your preference, of course, but if I didn't give you my opinion, then you may as well just watch a video made by AI, right? On the other hand, the Galaxy S25 Ultra doesn't try to shy away from its signature look. It's boxier than before, but still massive, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. The weight distribution overall is way better than last year's S24 Ultra for me, and one major thing about this phone, just like the S24 Ultra, this display is way less reflective than anything on the market. It's a design feature, of course, and we are going to talk about this in a bit, but this new anti-reflective tech here means fewer fingerprints, way less glare, of course, which is fantastic, especially in bright conditions. It's just amazing to use, which leads us perfectly into the display comparison.
Both displays are some of the best in the industry.
So I kind of like I'm watching the video and seeing the phones up close. The Samsung one does look a bit better compared to the iPhone.
Really, I've been trying quite a few phones this year, and these two are up there with the best. But we can't deny that when it comes to the displays, Samsung has a definitely clear edge here on the anti-reflective display. In a day like this, where you've got a rare bit of sunshine coming through, just reading something on the screen makes it much better. I mean, not that the iPhone screen is bad, but it's just much better to use the S25 Ultra for that.
Both phones have incredible screens. Don't get me wrong, they're both awesome. But Samsung, for me, still holds the crown here, especially with this display, which we've seen before on the S24 Ultra, but is still just way better than everything else on the market, not just the iPhone. Here's the thing though, Apple's Super Retina XDR display, whatever they call this thing, is fantastic. It's sharp, vibrant, and Apple...
What I don't like with the iPhone though is like this notch over here, and maybe it works with the aspect ratio of the screen, that they're able to like put something cool on the side, but I don't like notches, to be honest.
Does do a great job with color in general. There are times, especially when I'm using the camera, when I prefer the colors on the iPhone. Rare to happen, but it does happen. Most of the time, I think the display colors in general are just a bit too warm now on the iPhone. I also noticed that there's a weird thing on the iPhone display in a very specific scenario, but it's definitely worth mentioning. Not sure you can see this on the video. I tried to capture it here, but basically, if there's a flickering on the sky.
Some weird flickering on the iPhone screen. Can you see that?
My wife wanted to be seen as the perfect mom.
Thumbs up, subscribe. It felt more like a set.
Whoa, what's going on there?
Nothing beneath the skies is flickering, but the
Seems
sky seems
to
to
be
doing
a
some
good
crazy things
comparison
in
to
here.
both.
Even though I had exposure locked in. Samsung, on the other hand, as I said earlier, they introduced this anti-reflective glass last year, which is fantastic. It does mean way less glare in all sorts of conditions, not just bright sunlight, but in anywhere with...
I got the Samsung Z Fold 5, and I don't think it has the anti-glare screen that he is talking about. Maybe there is, but I don't notice it that much. But the Z Fold 5 was definitely a good upgrade from the Z Fold 3. Maybe they will put the anti-glare in the future Fold series, but I may be switching to the S26 in the future.
Any reflections, right? Honestly, let me tell you, once you've used this, it's really hard to go back to anything else. It's not impossible. Like, for example, the OnePlus 13 display, for different reasons, it's bright and it's, you know, very vibrant. I do wish Samsung actually brought this to the Tab S series and other S series as well, because it's just a beautiful display.
Now, I just thought
Yeah, like it's crazy. I have the Tab S10, and it does have some glare issues, and there's also the notch. It's not noticeable, but it's there. I don't like it.
started to look at the Oppo Find N5, and one of the refreshing things about this phone is that it is also using this technology on the screen, this anti-reflective display. I'm not sure if it's exactly the same as Samsung, but it certainly reduces a lot of those reflections, and it feels like that's the way to go as an industry. And Samsung may actually have to watch over their shoulder because the competition are coming for them, right? And Apple,
Yeah, we now have like
I don't know, it feels to
fold
me like
phones.
they went a little bit backwards. When they had the 14 Pro Max launch and introduced the Dynamic Island, I felt like that was the opportunity to remove distractions from the screen. Okay, they've got sensors in here, but you know, when we think about if anyone has a budget and creativity and the ability to bring something to the market without any distractions on the display, that would be Apple, right?
I actually dropped both of these phones recently. Nothing happened to the S25 Ultra miraculously because I had no case. You can kind of feel it a little bit, and I'll try to do a macro shot of this. I can't see the damage, but I can feel it a little bit rough.
So that they like phones need to use aluminum for their casing. That it's a lightweight metal, not metal, but it's also prone to scratches. That's why I use casings on mine. But yeah, I can definitely see if you go to his original video on his video, you will see that there's a small dent in the aluminum body.
On the corner where it hit the ground. The iPhone did have a case when I dropped it, and it did a great job, to be fair. You know, shout out to ESR, not sponsored, but should be. Their cases are amazing. Now, both of these displays are adaptive 120 Hz displays, or promotion as Apple calls it, which means everything is buttery smooth when it needs to be and power efficient when it doesn't. But if you're someone who likes to customize your display colors a little bit more in the settings, Samsung does give you more control in here from a kind of brightness perspective, but also from a
Yep,
resolution
definitely more
and just a
customizations
color
with
profile
Samsung
perspective.
compared
With
to
the
iPhone.
You get what you get, right? It's stuck on Apple's factory settings, and while they're great,
You could
don't get a lot of
jailbreak
choice
your
here. You know, it will
iPhone,
appeal
but
to a lot
that
of
will
people. They've
limit
been like
your
this forever.
usage,
I think that's starting to
especially
kind
with
of see,
official
for
the
example, in
official
camera,
network.
You can add kind of baked in colors into the photos, but you can't yet tweak the colors on the display itself. When it comes to text clarity, I usually forget to test this actually. Both are razor sharp, and I'll try to capture that here in a macro lens so you can see really in detail. But let me know which one looks best for you. At the end of the day, both
Definitely
screens are
on the
industry-leading, but for outdoor
Samsung.
visibility, customization of colors, and that anti-reflective magic, Samsung is simply ahead in my opinion. Let's have a look at the cameras now. Some portrait shots here to get us going. I need a better model really, but ignoring that bit, both do perform really well in this mode. It's going to be pretty rare, but on both devices, sometimes you might see that the edge detection doesn't work that well, or there's a little bit of blur, too much. You can control that in post on the phone
The
itself.
camera though
I'd say
looks a bit better
portrait
on the
shots for
iPhone.
most regular use, like posting on social media or sharing with your family and friends, they're pretty
It's
good
more
actually
vibrant.
on both phones.
Thankfully, I did get a better model, so I got my son to pose for me here. And to me, it's going to come down to your preference, really. The iPhone is just not as true to life as it used to be, in my opinion. For many people, though, the iPhone image here will look nicer. For me, I prefer the sharpness of the subject and the cooler tone as well of the S25 Ultra. The fall off in focus is very similar, but the iPhone, when you look a little bit closer, seems to happen
Oh,
a
the
lot
Samsung
earlier.
has
By the
better
time you get to the back of his head,
attention to
it's already
detail
blurry,
compared to
whereas the S25
the
Ultra
iPhone.
keeps that sharpness going a little bit beyond his face a little bit. You can see that quite clearly as well by the difference in focus in his ears.
In regular, just point and shoot photos, in most situations, I think the S25 Ultra is just generating a more pleasing shot. For example, in situations where there's a blurring of the background, I think Samsung is doing a better job here controlling the highlights and adding a nice glow and a nice, the blurry effect is just more pleasing to the eye, I think. It's getting closer and closer to what a normal camera looks like. It's almost like they're adding a mist filter in some shots as well, which is very subtle. I could be wrong, it could be just my eyes, but this shot here, for example, in Covent Garden in London, is a good example of that. In low light, I gotta say, the majority of the shots that I took look better to my taste anyway on the iPhone. But it seems to come at an expense in terms of sharpening, over sharpening. To me though, it's just a more pleasing look on the iPhone, and it's actually because of
Yeah,
that,
the low
that
light
warmer
iPhone
color.
takes the
I think
cake
that warmer
here.
tone sort of helps here in this scenario. So if you look at this lighting here under this arches, the S25 Ultra is more true to life, to be fair. This is how I remember the image with my own eyes. But the iPhone looks nicer here, in my opinion. In this other shot here, where we've got low light in the background, it's kind of really harsh, cheap lights as well in the foreground, and not.
I guess it's a matter of preference. Do you like filtered pictures more for the posting and stuff, or do you like something close to reality?
Very interesting, but a pretty challenging shot to take and make any sense of it. But we can see here how the iPhone deals with it much better again. Perhaps not as much detail in the shadows, but the S25 Ultra just went a little bit crazy on the highlights here, which made the shot pretty much unusable. It's kind of tricky to judge sharpness in general, because I think, I was doing everything handheld, so there's always going to be an element of camera shake, but overall I do think the iPhone is slightly more over sharpening low light in general. If you zoom into those cobblestones here, for instance, the S25 Ultra is just generating a more kind of moodier shot, more natural look for me, but not for the first time in low light shots. The S25 Ultra is struggling a little bit here controlling the highlights when you look at the shop signs where we lost all the color. Either flaw, if you like, either in sharpness or in color, come down to your personal taste at the end, and both can be fixed either by using color profiles baked into the shot or using photo editing software like Lightroom afterwards. When it comes to zoom and detail in both video and photo, by the way, for me the S25 Ultra just takes better shots more consistently. Sometimes the iPhone does a great job as well, but on the main camera the iPhone just adds a heck of a lot of noise in video.
Kind of makes
particularly
sense
anything
because
beyond, like,
hardware-wise,
10x.
the
It's
rear
actually
camera of Samsung
unusable
is
as well.
stronger.
On the telephoto, on the 5X, it's a similar story again. The iPhone seems to generate a little bit more noise and more, not so much noise, it's kind of just less detail. It's more mushiness, I think I would say, I would call it. Whereas the S25 Ultra is a very similar image, but as soon as you look into the detail, you see that it is a better, perhaps, it doesn't look like it's getting more pixels in, but it just feels more detailed. Yeah, for me, quality overall in this sort of telephoto lens is not even that close actually when it comes to zooming. And here's just a quick look into video stabilization as well. This shot here is just me essentially walking and holding both phones like this.
Stabilization
Trying to
Samsung
keep it
looks
stable,
better.
but walking, no gimbals or anything like that. I do think stabilization has come a long way on all devices. It used to be just like on action cameras. Now these phones all have really good stabilization. But let me know which one you prefer here. I'll be
I
quiet for a
prefer
bit,
the
though, and put out
Samsung
some
one.
shots side by side here. So you can
Showing my
appreciate
bias,
take a
but
better
that
look
was
as well
definitely
without me.
better than Apple. Copyright music. I'm just gonna mute this one, or else I'm gonna get into trouble. Oh no. I'm gonna lower the volume. I touched the volume
Hope you enjoyed
again.
that, and a bit of music as well. And talking about music, what are the speakers like on these phones? Bear in mind though that even though the 16
Facebook, do
speakers
not
might be
remove
the
this
same as the Pro
video.
Max, I'm not sure, I've got to fact check that. There's probably going to be a slight difference between the Pro and the Pro Max, but let's listen to them.
This is our home, De Silva. You're very welcome at Tolman.
Thank you. I'm using my other name now, Sen. Ayrton Sen. And don't worry about the trucks.
It's a little bit more tinny sound, but maybe because he's using
This is our
a
home, De Silva. You're very
he's
welcome
using
at
a microphone.
Thank you. I'm using my other name now, Sen.
But there doesn't seem to be a
Ayrton Sen.
difference between the two.
And don't worry about the trucks. What matters to me is the car.
To me, the S25 Ultra sounds a little bit fuller, and even a max volume as well still sounds clearer to me, so not a lot of distortions. I know it's hard to do that on YouTube over microphones and your speakers as well. If you're wearing earbuds, it's probably going to be better to kind of get a difference here. but let me know what you thought anyway. For performance, I thought I'd give you some real world scenarios rather than just benchmarks. Benchmarks are great, but I think it's best to show you, what it means in practice, right? So let's export some raw photos, 4K video, and play some games as well on both devices. When it comes to exporting videos, I used CapCut to export a 4K 60 video into a 1080p version, and the iPhone was actually a lot faster here, not just in one occasion. And this may be due to the app itself, we never know, but I tried this with many different videos on separate days, and the iPhone was always quite a bit faster to render the video. Gaming is super smooth on both phones. The S25 Ultra to me has a better speaker
Ooh, he's using Diablo Immortal.
for gaming, and the display on the S25 Ultra is of course much better due to minimum distractions, no dynamic island here. But the iPhone display is no slouch, it gets bright enough to play in any condition.
Yeah, no. Look at the big notch on the left side. Nah, that's a big turn off for me. Like, if you're gonna force a notch, then cut off the gameplay like over here. That way, the notch won't show up that often. Imagine if you're into gaming, hardcore gaming with Android or mobile hardcore gaming, this notch over here can hide enemies, and that could affect your gameplay. But anyway, it's just a pet peeve of mine. It really depends on your, like, if you don't use your phone for gaming that much, then yeah, this would be a good phone for you.
Really. Temperature wise, the iPhone does get a bit warmer than the S25 Ultra, so that new larger vapor chamber on the S25 Ultra is doing a great job in keeping it cool. Now when it comes to AI, Apple really falls behind for me. Sure, the features are getting to the iPhone, but the execution is terrible.
To get started in data analytics, you don't need previous experience or a degree. The Google
I don't
Data
have
Analytics
YouTube
certificate
Premium.
will-
It's expensive.
Can you look at my calendar and look at what the best time for a workout is in the next couple of weeks, please? Okay, never mind.
I haven't really seen many worse kind of releases of software globally. It's just been a dog's dinner really, as they say. And even when you do get it, Apple Intelligence to me feels just cobbled together really in a rush, whereas Galaxy AI,
Everybody remembered when Apple produced their own Apple Maps. It was such a disaster that even SNL was making fun of the Apple Maps. Now they're trying to dabble into AI, and you can really see the big difference between the two.
feels more mature. They're getting rid of the gimmicky aspect of AI. They're making it more useful for productivity and just day-to-day work. It's not quite perfect yet.
Can you look at my the Liverpool matches for the next 3 weeks and add them to my calendar, please?
I think there are areas for improvement here, but for me it's now essential. I can't live without some of the AI tools that we've got here. I reviewed a few phones this year already, and when it comes to AI features and ease of use of them as well, Samsung seems to be just ahead, right? I love the Pixel as well for that, but I don't know. One UI 7 overall feels more fluid. When I say AI features in this context, I don't mean the computational photography aspect alone, which, Apple does do as well. I'm talking more about the assistant-like features like writing assist or writing tools on the iPhone, generative AI features to kind of remove things from photos and things like that. But when we do look at photo-related AI, let me show you this. This is a shot that I took from the top of the Shard in London. You see these horrible reflections? It's very hard to avoid them, unless you're using filters and things like that with a proper camera. It's just insane, right? Lots of people have been trying online to do this thing where you put your face and try to get the AI to replace or to kind of make up what's behind your hand. And it's crazy, right? How good the Galaxy AI
So this is one thing that I've also used. It's in most Samsung phones, and this is quite funny.
stuff is, and it's not exactly right, but quite scary how good it is. And Apple Intelligence was embarrassingly all over the place.
Like, look at the big difference between the two. Like the Galaxy AI, it kind of built his half of his face. Like you couldn't tell that this was generated. Like it's how scary AI is becoming. But look at the Apple Intelligence; it's not able to erase everything that well.
This aspect. By the way, this video unfortunately is not sponsored again, so your help in getting this content discovered out there is even more appreciated than normal. Making these videos is super hard, right? Juggling this with my other 9 to 5 job, and not to mention how expensive it can be, right, to buy these devices and equipment and rent a studio. So if you're enjoying this video, leave me a like, and I'll take your sharing of the video over any sponsorship
Yep,
money
support
right now.
this
One
guy.
feature
It's
that
very
I've always
good.
enjoyed on recent iPhones is log recording, and in fact, it's probably one of the reasons I kept the iPhone for so long in previous years. This made the iPhone just a cut above the rest when it came to video, for pros especially. Well, now we have Samsung Log 2, and I was a little bit skeptical to start with, but it's actually great. I actually asked Samsung directly recently about whether they're thinking about opening this app for custom color profiles so that you can add your own LUTs and things like that in there. The answer was very PR friendly, so they wouldn't commit to anything, but they said that One UI 7 will continue to improve, and especially when it comes to video editing features in the Studio app. So you can kind of read between the lines there. My assumption will be that it will, that Studio app will have a way of adding more color profiles, maybe their own colors to start with, and then your LUTs maybe in future. That would be amazing, because as a creator, I could say, for example, you can buy the Alex Gear and Tech look or whatever, right? But anyway, but what we have already is great on both phones. I think Samsung is friendlier to use because you can already kind of convert that log footage on device, but both are really good.
What's
now, something
LUTs?
that I
I'm
always
not
forget
sure.
to test is signal strength. At the end of the day, these are still mobile phones, and people might want to make a phone call with them, right? And rather than just giving you a subjective view of this, which I've done before, I took a reading at a couple of different places of the actual data, behind the little bars, because 1 bar, 2 bars, that doesn't mean a lot, right? And there's a lot of numbers here, but the ones that we need to focus on are RSRP for signal strength, RSRQ for connection stability, and SINR to see how interference affects the data speeds. By the way, there are apps that will tell you this information in a much more friendly way, but it's essentially a field test mode, which you can enable by just typing this code on your phone. Now, when it comes to productivity, this category is something that is probably not even fair to compare, because the iPhone simply doesn't have that many features, but it would be omissive of me not to mention it. At the basic level, Samsung has the best multitasking features. It is second to none, really. Other Android phones can multitask, but Samsung is simply
Definitely a good feature of that I've been using for quite some time. If I want to book an Uber, or I want to see which one is cheaper, Lyft or Uber, I'm able to have both apps open on at the same time, and then I do a booking and I check which one is cheaper or not. So I can even go as far as have 3 screens, 3 apps open on my Z Fold, and even on my Note. I could have I have the Note 10. I could have 3 apps open on my phone.
better at this. On the more advanced side of things, we get the S Pen, of course, which is not only useful for productivity, of course. It can be, you can do some creative stuff with it. I love
S Pen
editing
is
photos in
definitely a
Lightroom,
big
for
plus.
example. Using the S Pen is one of my favorite pastimes. And another more advanced feature in this area is Samsung DeX. DeX turns the S25 Ultra and many other Galaxy devices into a portable and very friendly, low-powered but capable desktop. All you have to do is connect the phone to a monitor via USB-C, and boom, right, you get an awesome desktop experience, as you can see here. And when you pair this with something like the espresso displays, a travel mouse and a keyboard, this pretty much negates the need for a laptop in a lot of scenarios.
Now, I appreciate that the productivity aspects may not be of interest to many of you out there, especially if you have an iPhone and an iPad, or an iPhone and a MacBook, or all of the above. I can't really blame you for thinking, what the hell do I need DeX for? I personally really like and hope that Samsung develops it further, because it is amazing for me. Even if I don't use it every day, it's so nice when I do need it, is to have that option.
Yeah,
It's
DeX
great for
is.
me. But there
I've
is
used
something that I
DeX
should
also at
mention in
work
contrast, which is the friendliness of using the
to
iPhone.
to access
FaceTime, for
the
example,
Epic
is
apps.
so good. I know we can do video calling in many different ways on Android devices, but man, FaceTime, especially when you're traveling, it looks better, it feels more stable.
That's the big plus on iPhone. Their messaging system, the FaceTime and the Apple iMessenger, is definitely better compared to Samsung. Samsung plays too much. Samsung has multiple, like you have the Samsung messages, you have the Google messages, you have the Google video messaging. Samsung has its own also, but it's not well connected through their devices. Like, if I remember correctly, at that time the S series had a different Samsung Messenger compared to the Note series, and that's not good. While the Apple FaceTime is available on all of the generations of Apple, and Messenger, iMessenger also has the same features. Like there's stability all over the devices, even from tablet to Mac. It's pretty much the same software. So that's definitely a big strength for of Apple.
Able, it's just easier to use as well.
Now, there's something I was reluctant to mention, which is my personal experience of the iPhone. It's been terrible, you know, and I delayed making this video because I wanted to give Apple a chance to kind of try and either fix it or give me a replacement for this phone. So I delayed this video until Apple had a proper look at it. They did run some diagnostics, both online and then in person. I had to reset my phone, you know, kind of not restore it from a backup, basically start from scratch. And I'm now running the latest iOS 18.3 at the time of recording. It still overheats sometimes for no apparent reason. I'll just feel this hot thing in my pocket. It hasn't crashed since going to 18.3. It was crashing a lot on 18.2, and you can go back to my 30-day challenge where I used everything was Apple ecosystem for 30 days. But I still every now and then notice some annoying lag. Sometimes it's just, you know, when I'm typing, not doing anything crazy, literally just typing a text or an email, and I'll see one of the letters get stuck on the screen, and then I'm still hearing the clicking. But anyway, it's just very laggy, the clicking as well. Doesn't happen a lot. It's virtually impossible to capture that on video unless I'm doing a 24-hour stream. But yeah, it still happens. I do appreciate though that not everyone is having this problem. It's a bit
Sloan, Anthony.
I need
tell me a little
YouTube
bit
Premium.
that Apple looked at this, you know, in 2 occasions and found nothing wrong with it on the software or the hardware. I might get a second phone as well just to compare them, because look, I've been doing this for a while. I'm no like expert. I don't know everything. I'm just a guy trying phones on the internet. But it just doesn't feel like normal behavior, and I feel like I'd be unfair if I criticized it too much.
And
It
to think
feels like
he
it's
is an
a
Apple user.
unit issue. Now, both of these phones are phenomenal, right? When you think about the tech that's involved in producing these devices and getting them to your hands. But if I had to choose just the one, it would have to be the S25 Ultra.
Yes,
It's a more complete
S25 for your
package. It suits
win.
my use way more than the iPhone, and it's just for me a better device. I can recommend it a lot more easily than the iPhone. For me, the S25 Ultra has better camera versatility, more AI tools, true pro level features, some of which you do have on the iPhone as well, but I just feel like you get more on the S25 Ultra. But let's be real, even though Apple isn't my favorite right now in terms of handheld devices, the iPhone isn't bad, and Apple has strong customer support, something that really in general we shouldn't ignore.
Yeah, one of the comments in the picture was that Apple support is definitely better than Samsung. Samsung has third party repair, and it's not a good experience because it really depends on the third party that is serving your area. Now, if you have a third party that is like into Samsung repair, you are lucky. But I think here in Canada, we have Mobile Clinic. They're kind of okay in taking care of Samsung phones, but the Mobile Clinic definitely is more on iPhone.
I mean, I didn't get the best experience, to be fair, but I know that historically and in comparison, they do offer better customer support. And they do have a great ecosystem of other devices that go well with the iPhone. Sometimes overrated, I think, but for many people, he offers that simplicity of everything just connected, working seamlessly together, most of the time anyway. And another point on Apple devices is it holds its value longer. Whether we like it or not, it just, you know, it's easier to sell and not lose a lot of money when it's
That's an if for me. The resale value of iPhones, it's hard to, for the regular user, iPhone user, it's hard for them to just factory reset and sell the phone. They'd have to go through a bit. They'd have to, I think if I remember correctly, they'd have to call their carrier, have it unlocked. Unless if you buy the iPhone already unlocked. With the Android phones, there's actually a way to unlock it. It's very simple to do. It really just depends on the user.
sell your iPhone. But you're also locked into Apple's own way of doing things, which doesn't
Well,
suit everyone.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Apple has a way for you to be able to sell your phone. It's actually a strength and a weakness at the same time. It's a weakness because it depends on the user. The user would have to go to an Apple store or have to call their mobile carrier to in order to sell their phone. It's also a strength because if your phone is stolen, they would have a hard time tinkering with your iPhone. It's basically a brick if they don't know how to jailbreak your phone.
If you want more control, more features, and a phone that actually makes the most of its processing power, the Galaxy S25 Ultra for me is the one to get. See you soon.
Well, that was a very informative video. Let's take a look at some of the comments here. Oh, where are the comments? I'm gonna subscribe to this guy. He's very good. What happened to the comment section? I'm gonna leave a like also. That was a very good video. What the heck? Oh, there are the comments there. Okay, yeah. I think the manufacturers should stop releasing devices every year and focus on greater innovation and bigger improvements. That I think is a fair point because both companies, sorry about that, both companies, iPhone, Apple and Samsung have been releasing a phone every year, and Apple releases like 4 models of the same phone, while Samsung releases about 2 models of their flagship plus 2 models of their 3 models of their Z Fold series. So it's definitely diluting the market, and it's to the disadvantage of both companies to do so. But I understand the competition because if they don't release multiple versions of the phone, they don't capture a bigger market. Now, some people will prefer having the SE or the fan edition, where the fan edition has lower features but for a lower cost, while some people would prefer the maximum of the features. That's why you have the Pro Max and the Ultra in a Samsung, but some people would just like the regular version. So you have the regular iPhone 15 and the regular S25. So it's really up to you. But in my opinion, that's like just improve the phone. Take a break every 2 to 3 years. Release a better phone. But capitalism, it's the driving force of this production of phones. But it's definitely to an advantage to the consumer and a disadvantage at the same time because every phone is just a bit better than the previous year, and it doesn't make sense. I got an S25 for my work phone, and I'm blown away. Samsung has come a long way, and this thing is incredible. So, like me, another person here has been using his S22 for 3 years, going over 4 years. Like I used to be an Apple loyal until I switched to Samsung 6 and never looked back. I still have a lot of phones. I still have the oldest phone that I have right now is my Samsung Galaxy Note 4. It is still alive. I love it because it has the infrared for the remote control. I still have my Samsung Note 8. It is what I use for my white noise when I go to sleep because it still has the head jack. I still have my Galaxy Note 10. I can't really reset it because it has my banking and fingerprint for some apps that I need to be always there. I only pick it up when I need an OTP or something. I still have my Z Fold 3. I've turned it into my gaming phone. And I have the Z Fold 5 right now, which is my main phone that I've loved, and it's almost 2 years old. I think 3 years old now, going 3. I might upgrade to the Z Fold 7 in the future. Nope, Z Fold 8. I will upgrade to the Z Fold 8. Definitely Z Fold 8. I still have a couple of phones. No, I think those are all of my phones. I left behind my Note 2 and I gave it to somebody. and it's probably dead by now. Even the Samsung 6300 that I had, I gave it to my sister, and it's now gone. The Samsung Corby that I got, it's now gone also. I feel sad giving away my devices, but I still have my tablets. I still have my Samsung Tab 8.0. I still have my Samsung Tab S2, and I have my Samsung Tab S7 Plus, my Samsung Tab S9 FE, and I'm currently using the Samsung Tab S10 Ultra. So I definitely have a lot of Samsung stuff, but it's the ecosystem. There's really not that much of an ecosystem because I use Google, like the Gmail. I use Gmail a lot compared to Samsung, but I'm also loving the Samsung Notes. And I'm currently linking my Samsung Notes to Windows so I can open stuff in Windows. Definitely, it can have an ecosystem if you know how to do it. But that's the thing. It takes a bit of work compared to Apple, where it's like out of the box, you are already using an ecosystem. Let's read a couple of more. So I switched from iPhone to Samsung S25. A whole new world opened up for me. I was in the bias that only the iPhone mattered, but the connection with my laptop, PC, other phones, and tablet, especially TV, are so much better. I will never go back. Now, a lot of the smart TVs actually are Android OS, and a lot of the Windows specifically has support for Android. And Windows is a competitor of the Apple company, so it's definitely not gonna have a lot of support for Apple. That's their main competitor with the Macintosh, the Apple Mac. iPhone 16 Pro Max user here, I agree. The Samsung is better. The only reason I've stayed with Apple is because of the ecosystem. I've got the watch, iPad, and my entire family have iPhones, and the integration to everything else is on another level. Apple knows how to keep repeat customers, and they have gotten a bit lazy. I'm happy with my 16 Pro Max, but I definitely acknowledge that the S25 is it's the better phone, in my opinion. Samsung and Android have come a long way, but he does have a fair point. If you have your family that are not techies, they would definitely enjoy having iPhones. In my family, though, we have been Android users, most especially. My dad is using Samsung a lot. My sister likes using Samsung also. My brother, I don't know what type of phone he uses, but I know my mother has multiple phones also. She uses Samsung, but she's more definitely for the Oppo, and no, I think it's the Oppo. Because the Oppo at that time had very good cameras, and she likes taking pictures. She likes taking pictures a lot. Last one, I've been on Samsung. My wife's been on Apple for the past few years, and Samsung still has functions Apple hasn't caught up with. Multitasking is a must, and until Apple gets it, the iPhone will always be the lesser product, in my opinion. Yep, the multitasking of the tablet and the phone are similar. You can actually it's like the Chrome OS. The Chrome OS is still technically an Android OS, and you can open up to 3 apps on your screen, and it has been a very good feature for my work. Like I could have Excel on the other side, I could have the email on the upper right, and then I could have calculator on the lower right, and I don't have to like keep on switching between apps, like opening one app in full screen and going to the other app. You can have all 3 open at the same time, and if you don't want to have to open them one by one, you can actually set it on your your Samsung Edge, and have everything open in just one click. That's how easy Android is. Okay, I'm just gonna watch one more video just for fun. I've been watching this guy called Caleb Caleb Hammer, and Caleb Hammer is he is
What's your
originally
criticism, lady?
okay. He is originally not a financial guru. He is one of those YouTubers. He had a different career before in YouTubing, and he kind of fell into this niche in YouTube. So his niche in YouTube is now doing financial advice. Okay, I don't understand how he got into this. I haven't really checked his history, but he's very funny in a sense that he does this recorded takedowns of adults adulting, and like sometimes I think it is scripted. But I don't think it is,
What's your
because
criticism?
it's like really impossible
What's
to
your
find
criticism?
people like this. Like how did they grow up? How did they commit so many mistakes financially? Like, I'm not perfect as a person, but these people, I maybe it's an American thing. Let's take a couple like just 30 minutes of this video. It's very funny. It is 1 hour and 40 minutes. Just imagine, he started like recording these videos. I think it was only 30 minutes to 1 hour, and now he's up to 2 hours, and he would get a lot of viewers, like 600k viewers in just 3 days, and he has 2.19 million followers. Wow! So I'm gonna take a watch of this video. This is kind of funny. Here you go. If you want to watch the whole video, go look at Caleb. This is his channel, Caleb Hammer, and you will find a lot of videos. You will actually also learn a bit of financial advice. But here's the thing. He's not doing this out of the goodness of his heart. He's actually also selling his own products. He has his own financial app. He has his own financial program that you can enroll into. And he sells a cookbook of budget-friendly meals. But I just want to reiterate that he is not a financial guru. Oh no, he is a financial guru, but he like has no formal education to be so. So he's not technically a financial advisor. I don't think he makes himself out to be. He's just a guy with a YouTube studio shouting at people. And you'll see why.
Lady.
I didn't like how things were handled in that episode.
What?
Just like the way that you approached and handled like their situation. Like,
Are you able to say anything of any relevance, or are you just
It
gonna
was-
say broad terms?
I'm just like letting you know that like that if you do that, that's not cool.
Any more criticisms? Not.
Yeah, most of the videos is him like this. He's very abrasive to his guest, but to be fair, his guests are also like abrasive back to him. Like, I don't know how he finds people like this. That's why it gives me like a 50-50 suspicion that this is scripted, because there's no way somebody would show up and be humiliated online, posted online forever. But then again, I've seen worse in reality videos, like Jerry Springer videos. People would just go online for the fame, I guess, because people would be seen by thousands, 100,000s to millions in USA, acting crazy on Jerry Springer, and to them it seems to be like a badge of honor that they got to show up and be crazy on TV. And now we have this. Like, this is the, I would say, peak consumerism, that we are watching videos like this, and it's kind of like slowly killing off mainstream media. But it's funny. Here, let's watch.
Backed up by reality. You're bringing such dark energy to financial audit.
The tools to change your life have just been upgraded. Download my budgeting app, rebranded.
See what I told you guys. He has an app to sell you, and you know if you are having problems budgeting, you can take a look at the app. The one thing about mobile apps is that most of it are free. Some a big chunk of it will be freemium. When you say freemium, you are able to download the app for free, use some of its features, but to get 100% of the features, you'd have to pay a fee to unlock everything. And most of the payment models of apps right now, it's not a one-time payment. It's subscription based, and subscriptions could be as cheap as paying like $3 a month to paying off to up to $25 a month. With it's cheaper to get an annual fee, but yeah, if you could handle $100 per year, that's really up to you.
To DollarWise today and start your free trial. Sign up for the annual version and I'll send you my budget-friendly cookbook that can't be purchased anywhere else, and I'll personally sign it and mail it directly to you. Download the DollarWise budgeting app today and take advantage of your free trial.
Hi, I'm Alexis. I'm 20 years old.
Hi, I'm
So yeah, there's also trialware. Trialware is where you download and only get the features for a few days. There's also shareware, wherein you can unlock more features the more people you share the apps with. Shareware is usually linked with either freemium services or in-app purchases. So the app itself would have microtransactions for you to use. And most likely, some apps this year it has been very bad. Apps now have in-app purchases and annual subscription, and there was another thing. You have to share to a lot of friends, and yeah, it takes a lot of scrutiny so that you don't get scammed or be spending a lot of money on just a simple app when you can do it by yourself using pen and paper.
Colt. I'm 23 years old.
These are 20, 23 and 20. They look older. I'm not saying that I'm young looking at 40 years old, but wow, 23 and 20. Huh.
We live in Palestine, Texas.
And this is Financial Audit.
Damn, Austin should have built the Iron Dome. Okay. Well, thanks for coming in, guys. I really appreciate it. So, let's start with you, Alexis. You're the one right in front of me. What do you do for a living?
I currently am immigrating into the States from Canada, so I legally cannot
An
work.
immigrant to Palestine. Now, this isn't one we've never heard of before.
He's just zinging with the current events thing. But I have seen a lot of Canadians move to USA. That's the sad part.
Canadian. So I'm Canadian by birth. I lived there most of my life. Came down to the States for school. Worked my ass off in Canada to get to an international school. When I was originally coming to...
Why are you trying to go full red, white, and blue?
There just wasn't a lot of job opportunities there, and school...
Seems like a pretty important part of living.
Yeah.
What do you do?
I'm gonna get into trouble with this one, but she is right. She has lesser job opportunities here in Canada, and I am going to be a bit conspiratorial, but white Canadians have problems getting jobs right now. Oh my god, I'm gonna get cancelled for this one, but it is the truth. Like, if you go and I'm just gonna put it in this way: go to McDonald's, go to Tim Hortons, KFC, and a lot of the fast food stores, and tell me what you notice. Write it in my comment section, and you'll definitely understand why she had to move to USA.
I wanted to be a kinesiologist.
Okay, so what's your immigration status right now?
What's a kinesiologist? I know it's part of the healthcare worker allied health team, kind of like a physical therapist. Okay, so scientific study of human movement encompassing its mechanics, anatomy, physiology, and psychology. How the body moves, performs, and functions with a goal of enhancing and restoring, optimizing human movement in various contexts. So it's like physical therapy, but a bit more niche, wherein it's, or maybe it's physical therapy. Like that is, you learn something new every day. Is it is it a physically demanding job though? Because you might be there telling your patients to move, you move it, move it. I do know that in the hospital that I work in, we actually have multiple teams that deal with physical movement. One of them is what you call the GMT, the Get Moving team. And then you have the physical therapy team. And you actually also have the occupational therapy team, all dealing with movement. And this is something that's not really common in the Philippines. But keeping your patient on your bed, especially for somebody that has hip fractures, increases the chances of delirium. And that's not something that we focus much in the Philippines. In the Philippines, we focus more of get better so you can get out of the bed. We don't incorporate physical movement, rehabilitating the patient. Well, especially in government hospitals. No. I will be honest with that one.
Are you guys married?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I came
So
in under a student
you've
visa.
applied for a green card, or
Yes.
We're
okay.
in the process. Like
So
we have
a little
the
90
interview
Day
next week.
Fiance, but from Canada.
Yeah.
Usually it's better than the typical 90 Day Fiance locations, but I get it.
I met
Okay.
him at
90 Day Fiance. From Canada, of all places, 90 Day Fiance. If you don't know what 90 Day Fiance is, it's a reality TV show where people humiliate themselves in front of national to international television. It is usually somebody looking for love abroad, and they kind of have a relationship with somebody that looks like that somebody is only after for a green card or a visa into either USA or or Australia. There's also an Australian version. There's also a UK version. It is a dumpster fire. Unfortunately, right now there's like controversy with 90 Day Fiancés. Two Filipinas are the talk of the 90 Day Fiancé sphere. It is not good, but it's kind of like a train wreck wherein it is a disaster, but you can't look away. That's 90 Day Fiancé.
after I wasn't able to go back to school due to funding issues.
Funding as in you didn't have money?
Yeah. So
Okay.
my family moved down with me, and we weren't able to get a loan to continue my second semester.
Yeah, that's brutal. It is what it is. And international, it's usually a little more expensive anyway, so it's definitely a moneymaker for schools, that's for sure. And you, I guess you have to be the Uber breadwinner of the house with this situation. So, Colt, what do you do?
Well, I do computer engineering stuff. I build websites, cybersecurity, and I just got out of the military a year ago.
Okay. I have to ask it.
So,
Responding to
is an
emails takes
ad.
time, but not
I
with
should get
Grammarly.
YouTube
In a few
Premium,
clicks, Grammarly's generative
but
AI
it's expensive. So, you saw how he reacted, and there's a reason for his reaction here. For some reason, in USA, somebody could join the military, and here's what happens.
Disability forever?
I mean, I think once we pay off the house and we...
So, Caleb is asking about disability because in USA, they do value their soldiers. Wherein, if you entered into service, if you work for like a number of years and then you retired, you resigned, you are able to claim for disability benefits. With disability benefits, wherein you say that something happened to you while working as a soldier, and you now get money. And unfortunately, there's like a very little oversight, because some veterans are able to get thousands of disability benefits, while some have none and are homeless. So it's kind of a weird thing. But I did talk to a veteran from the USA. I asked him, like, what's going on? Why is there people saying that they're getting thousands of dollars in benefits while others are living on the streets unable to get benefits at all? And he kind of answered me in a few sentences that I think that made sense. He basically said that when you resign from the military for your benefits, it's not what you have done, it's who you know. And that kind of like made sense. So it depends on who you know. If you have friends in high places, especially the ones that do the investigation on disability and stuff, you will get a better payout. And it is kind of sad, because this disability should be on a person to person basis. Like this guy, no offense to this guy, he doesn't look like he needs the disability benefits, at least not at what he is saying, because apparently he is getting $4,000 a month in disability benefits. That's like minimum wage in USA in some states is 2,000. So he's definitely getting twice that. And not only that, he is also working, and he has but the wife though is stay at home, still a student, and he's supporting the wife. And we'll see why they are in this situation. So if these two are sitting down in front of Caleb, 100% they are financially ruined enough that they have to show up on a YouTube channel, humiliate themselves just for the fee that they get. Like I'm not sure, but showing up, like the standard payment for showing up in a YouTube video is $5,000 with a chance to share with the ad revenue. That depends on the contract.
Do you have disability?
Yes.
Okay. Well, it's coming in from that. Of course you do, because there's not been one veteran in the history of this entire show that has
He's just shading all the veterans that are on disability.
From the VA, it's about $4,000.
Yeah. Okie dokes. And what do you make in your computer engineering science?
4,000 a month.
It's is like 45.
That was more than my salary when I started here in Canada.
Every month.
Okay, 3,000. How'd you guys meet?
We when I was stationed in Fort Stewart, we met on a dating app, and ever since then we have been attached.
Did you cheat on someone with her?
No.
That's how it usually works.
No.
That implies I have game.
Does he have game?
I mean, he pulled me, so.
Okay. So what are we talking
Editor
about?
was on point.
How's living in Palestine? Offers $7,000.
Well, that was mean.
Not bad. Cheaper city of Texas. Very small.
Yeah,
it's filled with old people. Everything shuts down at noon on a Friday.
Yeah, that's not what I was asking. How's living off of 7,000 hours a month?
It's pretty.
So they are earning $7,000 a month. That's actually high. That's like 84,000 a year. That's kind of okay, especially if they're living in Palestine, Texas. And she's very dismissive of the fact that the place she's in is full of old people. Like it's probably a conservative place. I would definitely love it, because I am an introvert, and I don't really like to go out that much or at all. I only go out for work. But yeah, let's continue.
Pretty good. I mean, the house is at a good price, and we have
You own the house?
Yes.
Okay. Good. And where are you on the wait list for green card? How long have you been waiting? What is it, a 6 to 12 month process?
Well, the lawyer originally said that the allocated time is 24 months.
Yeah.
But
it goes a little quicker than that.
Yeah.
Sometimes, depending on where your paperwork is in the line.
And you?
And
how long has it been?
So I'm not sure what's going on because I'm not really well versed. I'm not into immigration and stuff, but I kind of thought that if you married somebody, the application for the fiancé visa would be a bit easier. They'd be able to get a green card a bit easier, but I guess not.
We put in the paperwork officially
Last year?
was February. And we have an interview coming up next week, and then 2 to 3 weeks after that, we'll get
How long were you guys together before you got married?
Like 8 months.
Something like that.
Okay.
But that was like
it was very situational.
Yeah,
because
I was not using him for a green card. Let's get that straight.
because I
am
was
not going to
getting
be
out
put
of
in that box.
I was living with her out of the
I don't know if we
barracks.
could get you in a box.
And so like to make more money, to not have to worry about like the barracks and food and all that, I lived with her. And so we got married in hopes that like we could get her registered so we could make more and get her on insurance.
Through the army.
So you had to get married to get more money from the military.
Yeah, and then I could also get
It wasn't the prime reason, but it was a big push.
Get more money from the military. There is a whole issue of people marrying military personnel for the benefits, and they call them dependopotamus, because they're like dependents, and sometimes they will brag about the rank that their spouses have. It's not just like a wife bragging about the husband. Can be the other way, when there's like a military wife and a dependent husband. It's a whole other issue. Like, I don't want my channel to become something like that, because it's not a world that I am privy to, although I do have military parents, but they're not USA military.
As well as like getting me situated with the military insurance and stuff like that.
I love paying more taxes. Thank you. I appreciate your...
He's just shading the veterans.
Okay, so again, what the...
Just a little bit though, like in the past 10 guests of Caleb, he has like I think 3 or 4 who are military and are on disability, and he's kind of shocked. I was shocked to know that they get thousands in disability. Like I think one of them got 5,000 a month in disability. Somebody got 3,000. This guy has 4,000, and their spouses automatically get insurances and stuff. Like it must be nice being a soldier in the USA to get that much, but thinking about the PTSD, the stigma of being a soldier, so it kind of makes sense they're getting that kind of money, if you know what I mean. But anyway, let's continue with the video.
Are we talking about, please?
Well, with her green card status and her getting a work visa, we're kind of on the fence about if she should work or not.
We're on the are we disagreeing?
Yes.
Disagreeing.
He's on one side, I'm on one side.
So, okay, we're not on the fence. We're on either side of it. Gotcha. As you were at one point, so...
Funny. I came here legally.
I know. The existence of offense does not make you illegal.
I mean, if she came across legally, we'd have way more money.
Yeah. Okay.
So he's referring to the fact that illegals allegedly get a lot of benefits when they enter USA illegally. Some states would give housing, a free, like a cash card every month that contains a considerable amount of funds in the cash card. They also get free education for their children, and it's just basically a lot of free money, especially in sanctuary cities. So they're making a joke about that one.
Okay, guys. Okay, so what are we disagreeing about?
I don't want to be put in the box as a lonely housewife or bored housewife.
You in boxes. Cat.
Yeah. But like I want to be able to provide for our family in some financial way.
Do we have kids?
No, not yet, but we have fur babies.
Okay. So you want to be able to provide, i.e. go to work, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, like I want to.
Which makes me think that you're saying, oh, no work for you.
Like, what's wrong with being a stay-at-home wife? Like, in this day of, like, I'm not saying like you should be, okay, but in this, I'm speaking on a bias as an introvert. Like I prefer to stay at home. With the advent of the luxury that we have with the internet, you can just buy a home gym. You can buy literally anything off the internet and have it delivered into your house. Like there's a lot of things you could do at home. You could even learn a new language or learn a new profession staying at home, doing business at home if that's your thing. You could even do remote work, like I was last as a virtual assistant. But I guess it's a matter of personality, because I do know also that there are extroverts that prefer to travel. So, and there's also like people who like to balance both being an extrovert and introvert, travel on some days and then stay at home on some days. So yeah, maybe she does have a point. But considering her situation where she is still a student, she shouldn't be trying to like stay out of the home. She should be at home finishing her homework and stuff, going to school and everything else. Like the husband is giving her an opportunity to do that, but somehow she seems offended that she is staying at home.
Well, I mean, on my side, I believe that like there's more to the like providing to the family than finances.
He's a trad.
Yeah.
You've married a trad, but you don't want to be trad.
So trad means traditional, and you have what you call trad wife and trad husband. Traditional wife and traditional husband. So traditional husband goes to work, brings home the bacon, while the traditional wife is the stay-at-home wife. There's definitely a niche for this on TikTok, wherein you have the trad wives displaying how they are trad wives. It is another weird thing on social media.
You don't? Okay. Seems like a interesting marriage to have been made, because that's kind of a relatively important thing, as in like how we live together and exist together as a couple.
But like our personalities mesh well together, and he won't like stop me from doing something. Like,
what's your pushback then? What are you doing? How's this conversation going?
I mean, it goes back and forth. Some days it's, we're looking for a job for her. Other days it's like, it's easier for her to help with the animals, and like, especially later on when we have kids.
Like, she's in USA. Like she would get a lot of jobs. I'm not sure what's wrong with her finding a job, but maybe because the husband is saying no, you don't have to get a job. It doesn't look like he's like forcing the wife not to have a job.
Kids.
How many fucking animals do you have?
6, 9.
What was your position in the military?
I was a calibrator.
Does what?
Calibrating equipment.
Right. Okay, so gotcha. Now, obviously, more income always helps. However, like again, $7,000 for Palestine, right? That's pretty chill.
Yeah.
As far as I know. So it's not like we need that. Obviously, if you want to work, I would rather you have work if you find purpose in that. Absolutely, sure. But this isn't necessarily an income problem. So why are we so fucked? Because clearly we're fucked, and this marriage is starting off in a fucked position. Who's bringing the debt? Who's not? Who's bad? Who's good? What's happening?
For me, like, I just want to have a purpose, and like, I don't entirely appreciate like the comments of like the trad wife situation. In the end, he's not gonna stop me from.
No, I'm saying he prefers that.
Yes, but
so you're not appreciating the reality of what he is literally saying. What the fuck are you talking about?
What I'm trying to say is that he's not gonna stop me if I want to work, but like he's obviously gonna voice his opinions. And with my
what are you against what was said? Because that is what he wants.
But I had watched this episode with a Somalian woman, and
okay, so I'm not seeing what's wrong with what the husband wanted. So she's already saying that no matter what the husband says, she will still do whatever she wants to do. So what is she still nagging about? I am not sure.
The way that like you would kind of put her in like that immigration box.
Immigration box? What do you mean?
Like just the way that you spoke to them.
She's an immigrant?
No, like she was working and then she wasn't, and then like it's a very different situation for us.
Play a clip,
and
I guess.
We were fiscally irresponsible, and that's what we are here to try and fix.
But
We want
that
your
is not how this
advice.
conversation is going to go. Stop trying to control this, okay? You little domineering freak.
I didn't like how things were handled in that episode.
What?
Just like the way that you approached and handled.
Like she's not saying anything. Like, what was it that you were offended of? Like, have a specific event, just not feelings, because feelings, like it can be misconstrued. So like I saw that episode. Yeah, the husband was a bit of an idiot, but the wife was also like being complacent about things. But I will try to react on that video in the near future.
Handled like their situation. Like,
are you able to say anything of any relevance, or are you just going to say broad terms?
You treated
sound
it
like the
like
internet.
90 Day Fiance.
Yes, because they were doing a 90-day fiance K1 visa, just like the show.
And I was not aware of that, but I just really didn't like
It was
how
talked about in the episode. If you're going to make commentary on the episode,
So see, that was the point. Like the episode really spoke about it, and then she had more of feelings rather than facts.
maybe watch it.
I stopped watching halfway through because of the way.
Good. I love when we do research on a topic and only consume half the information.
But the way that you treated, like the guy was a piece of work. But like,
What's your criticism, lady?
you just were kind of rude to them. Like, I get that.
Oh,
like,
as in literally 3 years of this show existing? Do you have the ability to look at videos? We upload 3 a week, 3 a day in terms of clips. Do you have the ability to click clack?
I don't follow you. He follows
Okay,
you.
so we're making criticisms without doing any proper research because I guess we're a moron. All right.
Yeah, Caleb has a point. You're making a criticism, but you haven't watched the whole thing. You make a criticism watching only the tip of the iceberg, and then you are way far off the point.
So that's interesting. Any more criticisms not backed up by reality? All ears.
Not right now.
Oh, okay. So, no adequate information was able to be provided. Okay, so I was a little rude to them, i.e., literally, she watched an onboarding video where I say, I'm going to be rude to you. If you don't want to participate in this, it's okay. You don't have to. And then she's like, I'm going to do it. And now she's here.
Caleb is very sassy. Like I said, he is abrasive to his guest, but he has a bit of a reason to do it because most of his guests are acting stupid, but at the same time, he's trying to overact, ham it up on his YouTube channel because that's what a lot of people are watching, his reactions to the financial mistakes of his guests.
And I'm being a little rude.
The husband is just smiling at his wife getting lambasted by Caleb. YouTube Premium, I need you.
Show to support my husband.
Okay. So.
The editor is just on point.
All right. So how is she supporting you?
She helps take care of the home. I have a whole bunch of issues where I can't always do everything myself. And with me focusing on work, it allows, equal...
But she doesn't want to do that. She wants to work outside of the house, which, again, I am not against. I'm not opposed to that.
I mean, that kind of is
At all.
the
Why would I
separating
be?
point is I believe that I'm able to bring enough money that she doesn't have to worry about going to a 9 to 5, that drains
Yeah,
you.
but that's not why she wants to go to a 9 to 5. Do you not understand her point? Her point is that a lot of people find purpose in their work. A lot of people like to pursue a career out of ambition. A lot of people want to feel like that they are bringing in money because it's, you know, it's a part of our culture. It's a part of Western culture. Even in Canada, where things are completely, there's been no productivity growth for 4 years. They still want to bring in money to support their households. So, I mean, do you not understand that?
I mean, I understand that she wants a purpose, but I think that, like,
So maybe this is the disconnect here. The wife wants to work, but the husband doesn't want her to work. There could be a compromise on this thing, but I feel like they're still young. 23 years old for the husband, 20 years old for the wife. I feel like the wife still wants to socialize and not be stuck at home. It should have been a conversation before they got married. Because now that they are married, their finances are commingled. They are probably going to be paying a mortgage for one house. So that's something to be discussed before getting married.
as time goes on, she'll see that her purpose is more than working a 9 to 5.
I mean, we know what he's trying to say. You're saying her purpose is to give birth to your children and raise them. That's what you're saying without saying it.
Not entirely.
Come on.
I mean, like, you know, she's helping with the community and, you know, she's a part of the church. And so there's definitely different avenues she has.
Okay.
So yeah, I guess the point of the husband is like it's not something so bad. Like he's not really gonna chain the wife in his home. But then again, this is a conversation that should have happened before they got married. But like a few minutes ago, they said that they got married because they had a purpose of getting insurance from the government. And yeah, he has a point. Like if he manages to get his girlfriend, now wife, with the the veteran insurance thing, it is actually a big help. Even though veteran healthcare is like bad, but at least it's like better than having no insurance, no healthcare. So yeah.
So we visit the mosque constantly. Got it. That's okay. Good. I'm glad you guys are supporting the community or something. You can still do that and work. Are you saying she can't do those things and work?
I mean, it's going to be easier for her. You know, working minimum wage jobs for a while, it makes you realize that, like, it's not fun. And if it's something that you don't have to worry
that's up to
about.
her. She can stop if she doesn't like it. And this gives her more flexibility with your stronger income.
So a while ago, you might have been thinking that Caleb was pro on the side of the husband, but now he is roasting the husband. So Caleb is actually pretty well-rounded guy. He is neither left or right. He will roast you if you are acting stupid. So right now he is drilling into the husband for like those were stupid points. Like it is the decision of your wife. And even if there needs to be a conversation before you got married, you still married her anyway. Which means that you either accept her for what she is or not marry her. So it is also his fault.
Half of it due to disability.
Controversial
But
thing.
stronger income, it gives her the flexibility where she doesn't have to rush into a job. She can wait until she finds a job she wants. We're not saying she has to go put the fries in the bag.
Yeah. Another issue too is like she doesn't have a driver's license yet, so like I'd have to drive her to work every time. And
She could Uber, right?
I mean, out in the woods.
What? Uber every day to work? Are you crazy? Somebody's asking for my channel. Let me see if I could type it. Okay, back to the regular show.
How far of a bike ride or scooter would it be?
I mean, it's like 7 miles to town, so.
Okay.
That was just to the gas station at the end of the road.
And how far is your commute?
I work from home.
Okay, so you have a little bit more flexibility.
My commute's like from the bed to the office.
So I think you have a bit more
So
flexibility.
what's
You can
wrong
probably
with it
take
if
her
he
she
works
wants
from
to.
home?
Why are
Yeah.
you so set on you determining what she's doing?
I mean, I have my values and I respect hers. I'm gonna support her, but I feel like that, you know.
Seems like a pretty big divide. What are your thoughts on this? Because I don't know, you've married this, and it's not bad if both are aligned, but you're.
Yeah, that's the point. He kind of married her. Like he wasn't also forced into marrying her. But yeah, Caleb was already roasting the wife a while ago, and now it's the husband's turn.
Not aligned on this.
I mean, if I want to work, then he's gonna let me work. But right now, like,
Yeah, he clearly won't be happy about it, though, is the thing. Which is, you know, a problem.
a lot of the work I'm doing right now is volunteer-based work, and I really enjoy doing that because I'm helping the community in a way.
Yeah.
And if I wanted to work, like, there's some opportunities in the town, but I think, like, he just doesn't want me to work, like, at, like, a grocery store, like McDonald's, like, just because he has worked in those places and emotionally and physically drained him a lot.
Exactly, but this allows her to get whatever job she wants. She could be the fucking community beheader. You know, there's a lot of options.
Yeah, I mean, we'll just have to see what lines up. I mean, I definitely think
this is weird,
What
guys.
happened?
You guys are weird. You came in kind of like a bitch, and then you're coming in and you're not like allowing her to leave the house. And well, she'll do it anyway because she, you know, she's persistent, but
Stubborn.
Stubborn. But she's
Tenacious, I prefer.
Canadian.
Fair
there
enough.
you go. That's a good one.
Tenacious
but, like,
Canadian.
The volunteer I'm doing right now that's like taking up a lot of my time can go somewhere. Like, it's not like I'm just like doing it because I have nothing to do. Like, I shoot my shot with this company, and like they looked at my work. They said, yes, I'm not getting paid for it, but like I am helping them, and like this could go somewhere. Like,
So there's been conversations about it going somewhere once we transition.
I can't say a lot about it right now, but it is a movie, and my name. They're
Okay.
working on getting my name in the credits
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
because I'm
Interesting.
helping them with a lot of the background media stuff.
And I guess that just gets put on your IMDb. Is that what we're talking like? I don't
And
know.
then like my stepdad also owns an auto shop, so like I created an
In
Instagram.
Palestine?
No, in Georgia, where the rest of my family
Okay.
lives. But I created an Instagram account with that, and I help them manage it. So like
So
a
that's
lot of that,
work you
I
can
have
do
a
at
lot of social
home.
media and like background experience with that.
Lindsay is on you right now. Please fucking- No, you're gonna.
So that's
Never mind. No, she's being okay. She just said, "Ooh, you created an Instagram account. Whoa!" It's like I okay, great. Like social
Like
media
I
management.
created
that is a real
all
job.
of the like posters and posts behind it.
No, it's not.
Like I do a lot of the social media
advertising,
management
yes,
for that.
but as a
auto shop.
job,
How many followers does it have?
It's a newer account because I had to create a new one, but it's also
I
a
see it?
small. Yeah, if I can find my phone.
To say that I love this job is an understatement.
I've been on the data annotation platform.
now
for
I'm
about a
getting
year and a half
ads
now,
on
and
Home
it's
for Work.
honestly been
Google is scary.
I'm hooked on phonics.
Oh, she's a Disney adult.
I am not
Disney
a Disney adult.
Did I see Disney stuff on that backpack?
It's Stitch, but I'm not a Disney adult.
So Disney adults are basically adults that are so into Disney that they would have a season pass. They would go to Disney every like 2 to 3 times a year. There's like a good Meat Canyon video about it. I'm not sure if we could watch it. It's very graphic. It's a cartoon, but very funny and graphic at the same time. But yeah, Disney adults is another niche of social media which can be cringy at times, and maybe I'll do a future reaction on that kind of content.
Oh, Oh, they're telling me your honeymoon was booked for Disney.
That fell through.
Why?
No monies.
No money.
Okay.
7,000
I
a
see
month.
4 posts.
I literally created it like a month ago.
4 posts in a month? They're telling me that you disagree with me on some big things.
I mean, there's certain items in life that kind of sucks that they're expensive, but what joy do you get if you live out of a cardboard box making a whole bunch of extra money?
Did I say you live in a cardboard box? No, the auto one. But your one that you were bragging about has like 39 followers.
39
It's an open account, but like I don't.
But if it's to brag about building a social media presence, right?
It's
Because if that's
definitely
what we're
not
using to get
good.
a future job, I'm not like bullying you on that. Like, we can't use it as like a resume piece.
Yeah, I know, but like that.
Can I see the other account?
Yeah.
Well, so what the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, it's expensive to buy a foreigner, but I don't know.
Like the old Instagram account that got locked out had like a ton of posts on there. This one I'm trying to rebuild and get all the followers back from the old account, which is taking way longer than I thought it would.
I had 156 page views this month. Okay. You gotta post a lot more than that. Lots of stories, lots of reels. Get on the algo game. What am I saying about cardboard boxes or whatever?
You
guys are obsessed with boxes.
There's certain life luxuries that are.
Are you guys able
expensive.
to ever say any examples with any criticisms you have?
So I think there's a disconnect between the two. The guy is a realist, and the wife is an idealist. So there's definitely a disconnect.
Please use an example or just say what you actually disagree. You guys are saying such broad things that have no.
You talk about like DoorDash, right?
DoorDash, yes.
Some days it's easier to DoorDash things than it is to cook.
Did I ever say it was harder?
No. But
so what's the argument? Because I never said that. I said you're a financial fucking moron if you're in high interest debt, can barely afford to pay your bills, and you're spending $50 getting delivered dinner instead of $7 meal prep. Yeah, I would say that, but I never said it was easier.
It's worth it sometimes.
Not financially. Worth it mentally, not physically. Worth it mentally, maybe. But also not really, because you're fucking yourself financially. You guys financially stressed at all?
I mean, I believe everything's going to work out.
Well, it helps that you get $4,000 a month for the rest of your life, inflation adjusted. What else? Because that was a bad point.
We'll just have to go through it.
Really? That's it? He disagrees with me on things, and it's sometimes DoorDash is easier.
Yeah.
Guys, why the f are you on
They're both
this show?
anxiety
To
ridden.
fight me with that? Come on, I'm good with a little combativeness, and I'm good with people calling me out on things, but my goodness, you sound like Reddit. You're not even bringing up good points. You know, like how I was talking to a guest, how we've talked to every single guest that they've consented to through multiple onboarding processes over 3 months. You think that getting DoorDash makes more sense than meal prepping when you're in heinous debt that is destroying your life? You can't even bring up what you didn't like about me. Say,
Caleb can be very, very rude to the guest, but like he has a point. Before they show up in the show, like I said, there's an onboarding that they would undergo interview questions from his producers. They would find out everything about their lives. They pour over dozens of documents and financial statements. So when Caleb does the show, he's very well informed on the status of both, and he's just doing the interview to match if what they're saying is what they're saying in the onboarding is what is being said on the interview, the show.
saying you can't bring up a good point why DoorDash is better. Do you guys have anything here?
You know, one of the examples is like you were talking about how it's cheaper to, put a mattress on the ground and sleep on that instead of buying a bed.
Obviously, financially, yes, sure.
But sometimes, like, I need to have a new bed frame.
It's situational. It's not one size fits all. I brought up how I focused on paying debt, so I slept on an air mattress when I moved to Austin for a long time. Yes, if you have back problems, obviously maybe you can't do that. Nothing is one size fits all.
So that's the point of Caleb. I think the guy here, the husband, is over planning for stuff that hasn't happened yet. And you know, it's a good thing to plan, but there's also the mistake of over planning, that you seem to you're looking out to become you're looking like you're overly anxious. Oh,
Look, private student loans can make it feel like you're one missed payment away from selling your grandma's heirloom.
he's now selling.
I miss you, Grandma.
selling
Wiry Fi
stuff.
says, chill out! No more sacrificing the family jewels. They don't reduce you to a credit score number. They just want to see if you're actually planning on paying. By the way, they're providing interest rates under 6%, which is practically a unicorn in the student loan jungle. I mean, some lenders want to charge you so much, you'd swear they were putting your firstborn on layaway. So if you're tired of monthly...
So just a bit of a disclaimer, guys. Although Caleb is his channel is more financial health, and he does sell stuff on his channel a lot. And one of the stuff he's selling is a program or a service. So if you want to avail of it, that's up to you. But in my opinion, if you can do everything by yourself, pen and paper, do it. But if you are not having problems, then there's nothing wrong with asking for professional help. And Caleb is showing a lot of professional financial help.
The payment's so high that you can't afford a single sweet treat. Wiry Fi's gotcha. They'll arrange your repayment plan, ease the monthly hit, and even let your poor cosigner off the hook. Mom or Dad, they can finally breathe. Oh, and if you think you'll just get stuck on a call center wait list, guess what? 4.6 stars on Google says Wiry Fi actually picks up and treats you like a real human, which is a shocker, right? In finance, that's something as rare as me not slamming a desk every episode. What? So if you're done fantasizing about robbing a bank, do that.
I used to track hours manually, then I switched over to
more
QuickBooks
ads.
Time. My employee...
Bloop.
By the way, but just check out Wiry Fi. They're here to help you actually crush these loans without selling your kidneys on the black market. Go to yrefy.com/hammer. That's yrefy.com/hammer. Or call 888-YREFI-78. That's 888-YREFI-78. And see how a real personal approach can help you escape the private loan nightmare. Because, let's be honest, living with crippling debt till you're 90 is not the retirement plan you dreamed of. Anything else? Let's get back to yours. What did you not like me saying to her?
You just looked at it literally like, I don't want you to look at me like I'm that couple. Like, I did not come here for a 90-day fiancé visa. I came here for school.
Okay, have I suggested?
No, but I have been put in that box before.
So she's crazy. Caleb hasn't said anything. Well, he did mention once 90-day fiance, but he hasn't put her in that box. But then she's projecting her insecurities.
Or I have been.
Why are you preemptively freaking out on me then?
Yeah.
Because I'm defending myself and defending my honor,
But you're
and I'm
defending
not
against something that hasn't been said.
I'm just like letting you know that like that if you do that, that's not cool.
But she's already
Like
offended.
you did that to them.
Okay, yes, I get angry about things that haven't been done as well. I'm pissed at you for punching me later, potentially. That's very upsetting. I'm preemptively pressing charges. I'm not opposed to this process. Also, 90-day fiance.
He's just roasting.
It's 90 days because
He's
in
just
the
roasting
K1
this
visa, you get
couple.
to come here for 90 days and then get married. That's not even a bad thing.
I have been viewed like at school. My classmates were like, "You're just here for like a green
Why are you
card
angry at
to
Caleb
getting
then?
graduated."
Were they joking or were
Why is she angry for what her classmates did? I'm sorry. I dislike this type of human being, wherein you're just having a conversation. You're like, sometimes I would help somebody. They look like they're down, just having a conversation or actively helping that person, and then suddenly they like look at me and be angry at me. Like I don't like that. Like you're angry with another person, why are you venting towards me? So I try to avoid those types of people. That's probably why I'm an introvert also. But yeah, it is annoying to find people that project a lot of things out of others that are innocent. Caleb is innocent, but yet she's angry at him for what her classmates did.
No, some of them were genuinely serious.
Okay, well, they're being and honestly, who even knows? If you are or not, it doesn't matter.
But I don't want you to view me as that because you don't know me.
But also, I didn't view you as that. I never said that. You're making something up in your brain that hasn't happened.
I think the husband is like contemplating why
this
he
is
married
the weirdest
her.
couple I've ever had on.
Yeah. Oh my god. So the guy is over planning decisions in life, but the wife is also kind of like projecting insecurities. Like in a way she is over planning insults that she would possibly get, which is kind of sad and funny at the same time. But that's not a good life to live.
And then you bring up a criticism of another episode out of fear for yourself, I guess? I don't even know. You didn't like how I was talking about her? They were very clear she was marrying for visa. I mean, that was as clear as a day, you know, as day. But that's okay. They can live whatever kind of life they want. That was, I mean, it was very clear with the dowry and everything. It was weird. Are you paying a dowry?
No.
Then I'm not making that criticism. I don't know what you're on about. You're gonna come on here and try that? It's so. What are we doing? All right. Well, let's just jump into these finances. I want to hear at the same time. I'm gonna go 3, 2, 1. And on go, 3, 2, 1, go. I want you guys at the exact same time to give me what you think your household financial score is. So the entire household, 0 to 10, 0 being the worst, 10 being the best. So 3, 2, 1.
4.
7-ish.
She was about to say.
I don't really know. Like I'm trying to understand it.
Either
but at
4
the
or
same
5.
0 being the worst, 10 being the best.
I'm trying to understand it, but I haven't quite gotten a grasp on all of it. Like.
Are we talking about? You mean the household finances?
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay, well, I'm okay. The Discover It is up first. I'd like more information on that, but if you guys want to get your financial score, make sure to take the assessment at calebhammer.com. You can also go to calebhammer.com/apply and join us on this show here in Austin, Texas. And don't forget, if you don't want to end up on this show, just download our DollarWise budgeting app. Make sure you take the annual version, take the free trial, then take the annual version. I'll send you our budget-friendly cookbook signed by me, mailed directly to you, and join DollarWise Central, which is a program you can join where you can take all of our educational programs for a much lower price than taking them individually. We did that so more people.
I'm just curious on what are the comments are. Let's take a look at the comments. Let's see. Not being able to live on 7K net with no kids is crazy. But to be fair, I think it's 7K gross. So the net, do they tax the disability? I think they do. So on the net, they would possibly get only 5,000. So she's mad because she doesn't like how he treated the Somali woman, but she's pissed because she looks down on the Somali woman and doesn't want to be lumped in with her. Ooh, that's like a bigotry of low expectations. She glares at Caleb like she's a toddler in timeout. Kills me. 5 minutes of premarital counseling would have prevented this marriage. Now, that's what I said at the start of the video. Like both of them would have their problems solved if they only had a conversation before they married each other. Oh, Basing says here. Wait. Give me a chat. I'm just gonna reply. There. So yeah, married after 8 months, man wants tried wife, woman wants career. This will be a good one, I can tell. It is it is a good one. I didn't marry him for a green card. I did it for TRICARE. That's still a different kind of card. It's an insurance card. Oh my god, these are crazy. I love watching Caleb in his videos. Like the people that show up online, it baffles me why they would humiliate themselves like this. Like they're gonna be showing their financial status, and it's bad.
Who could have access? So go to dollarwise.com. Okay, so you don't have a lot of grasp on the finance. Again, I want to get into this discovery, but I need more information on that. What is happening? Why is... Well, I guess from your perspective first, why don't you have a lot of grasp on the household finances?
I'm not like super math smart, so like looking at like spreadsheets and numbers, like it doesn't always like make sense to me, or like where this number is going to, or why this number, like...
Well, I'm gonna let you know out of the gate. I mean, I'm fucking math. I was in borderline, like on the edge of like, I could hear the next door when I was, you know, in math class. I was that close, okay? So, I'm very bad at math.
Yeah, he's
very bad at math. This is...
He's kind of right. Like, in this day and age, pen and paper and calculator is just what you need. If you are a bit more OC like me, you can use Excel. If you don't have Microsoft, you can use Google spreadsheets. Like there's literally thousands of tools you can use to manage your finances. Like maybe I'm bragging too much because it took me a long time to have some financial maturity. I'm still growing as a person, but watching the videos of Caleb is teaching me some stuff on what to do and what not to do.
Elementary. I'm not saying that as an insult to you, but like, this is, you just gotta look at it for 10 minutes and you get it, because it just tells you, okay, here's the purchases that were made.
Yeah, like I
here's
understand
the interest that is happening. Okay, so what's the struggle?
I've never like had a credit card to my name, so like,
okay.
I've never like actually had a credit card before, so like just understanding how like those can be a dangerous slope and trying to understand like what we might be using them for.
So why
what's not there to understand about credit cards?
Is where I'm trying to
like what's there not to understand about credit cards? You buy something, then you pay it off. What is like what's wrong with it? Oh, I gotta kill this because it's gonna steal my stuff. Okay, so yeah, what's hard to understand about
like,
credit cards?
The situation.
What's your take here?
You know, one of the hardest things with like having an immigrant wife that's not all the way in yet is no banks.
Why are you framing it as
Not all the way in.
Why are you framing
that's your
it?
wife
You're gonna
already.
get me in trouble again with her. Why are you framing it as
well, because
my immigrant wife, my fucking foreigner wife? Like, what are you? Okay, sure.
So, like, she doesn't have a social, so none of the banks, like, allow her to have accounts.
Yes.
So it's hard for her to get into it and actually see the numbers daily.
Yeah, but she could just log in with the same bank information if you're willing to share it, which she's...
That's not completely true, though. Like, if you just go to a bank, even if she lives, she's technically Canadian, like, a foreigner can still open a bank account. It just depends on what bank you're gonna go to. Some banks will open a bank account for you. You just need proper identification. So yeah, this is kind of a weird statement from both of them, but I think it's more of laziness on both parts.
Is your wife? Is he not willing to share it?
I mean, I could have it if I wanted to.
She thinks you're a pushover.
Yeah. So yeah, she's saying that she could if she wanted to. It's definitely laziness on both parts.
By the way, because anytime there's anything, she's like, I can do that if I want. You pushover?
To a limit. Happy wife, happy life.
Sure. What's the limit?
I'm sorry. I don't like that statement, happy life, happy wife. I believe more on happy spouses make happy houses. That seems to be a better term, like better saying for me. Happy spouses make happy houses. So make you each other happy, not just one person of the relationship. Just a bit of a side note, I did have a coworker wherein she had a fight with her husband, and I actually just gave her kind of like an advice. She was saying stuff like, why is her husband angry about the financials? And what was happening was that she was the one holding everything. She was holding the husband's ATM card. She was holding to her own ATM card, and I kind of like told her like maybe that's not something he wants. Like, you could still have him give your money, but have him hold his ATM card. And when he gets, like, what she does is like this. Once she gets the salary of her husband, she says that she's giving the husband an allowance. And in my opinion, like, some people would not like that kind of thing. It kind of like infantilizes the person. Like that's a whole ass adult, a husband, and you're giving him an allowance. That's like you're treating that person like a kid. So some people may have to be treated like a kid, especially if they're financially irresponsible. But that coworker of mine has been telling me that the husband is a good guy, so there wasn't really a reason for her to say to do that for him. So I kind of advise her. So maybe your husband wants that he could hold the ATM card, and when he has the salary, he gives you a good portion of the amount, but let him keep the amount that you would give him as allowance. It kind of gives him a bit more of acknowledgement that he is your partner and not your child. So yep, that actually happened. That was what her husband was complaining about, that he felt like he was a kid when he was given allowance. He's not even like getting the allowance as a whole, because my coworker was saying that she was the one buying the clothes for the husband. Like, yeah, that's like treating him like a kid. So yeah, she gave back the ATM, and they had this a better financial plan. They had a conversation. They had a better financial plan. So they're a bit happier now. Yeah, it's just a matter of conversation.
All right.
I will have a conversation with him before I do anything. Like, I won't just like go out and do it.
But you'll do it regardless.
Probably.
Okay.
But like, if I wanted to like look at his like accounts, like I can. Like, if I wanted to like look on his phone and like see it, I can if I want to. Like, it's not like he's hiding
Where's
anything.
the disconnect? Why aren't we sitting down and just talking about the household finances on a monthly basis, though? Why aren't we doing any conversation of budgeting, anything of like, okay, here's the situation. I assume you're bringing the debt into this relationship then, because you haven't had a credit card. Even though there's more debts that we can get than a credit card, but even still.
It's all my debt that I
Why
brought
aren't
in.
you communicating effectively? Why aren't you explaining? Why aren't we sitting down going over a budget together?
I mean, we have a monthly, if you want to call it that, a session where we talk about it.
And how would you say that goes? What would you say happens?
Like with that, I plan like what groceries we would get.
How do you plan it? Is it based on like, how do you know what is left to do groceries? How do you know how much we can?
So, we do a lot of our shopping at Aldi because
Aldi must be a bit expensive
for certain things.
I keep
and
hearing
it
that
saves us a lot of
name.
money by doing Aldi shopping.
Yeah, I'm sorry, that doesn't answer the question though. How do you determine how much money you're able to spend on groceries though?
I obviously go into like the pantry and look at what we have. And then he tells me, like, I'll tell him we need this stuff, and he'll tell me we have this much money for it.
Okay, so you are the one that essentially gives permission to spend money.
Yeah.
Why is it permission to spend money instead of being on the same page about what our financial situation is month to month and budget appropriately?
I mean, I try to communicate it.
Why does it fall on deaf ears? Why does that fail?
My brain goes to the worst case scenario, like the ship is sinking, like that's what I've seen with my
she's
family
also an
financial history. Like,
overplanner.
Growing up, like I
They're
only
not a
ever
good
saw
combination.
like conversation when it was bad.
Yeah, same.
So like that's all I really know. So my brain goes to like are we in like sunken ship territory?
What are you talking about? Oh, 1 second, sorry. Hello? What? Okay, hold on. Oh, no, we can't do this. No, we got it cut. We're not in.
What's going on?
Hey, we gotta get you out of here. Let's go. We're going left.
Is this a skit or something? Probably is.
Where'd you go? No! We had it! Go! We gotta get out of here. Wait. What is that?
Definitely a skit.
It's beautiful.
QR code.
Want to break into cybersecurity but don't have experience? The Google Cybersecurity Certificate uses real...
Did you just see into my dream? Guess I can't keep the secret anymore, can I? For the last few months, we've been building something huge behind the scenes. Simpler Budget and Simpler Money are now DollarWise. And today, we're launching our flagship program, DollarWise Central. And this isn't just a rebrand. This is everything I wish existed when I was broke, confused, and tired of feeling behind. Because most people aren't bad with money. They just never had the system, tools, and education that actually works for them. DollarWise Central fixes that. You'll finally have one place that does it all. And normally just one of our courses costs $197, but you're getting
So yeah, he's
all
selling
of it
stuff
for just
also.
$149 for 12 weeks. And that is the lowest price we'll ever offer. And once you're in, you're locked in. Here's the truth. This isn't just about money. It's about peace of mind. When you stop living paycheck to paycheck, when you stop lying awake at night wondering how you're going to make it work, when you finally feel confident, calm, and in control as your system leads you through the process of real wealth building, that's when everything changes. You stop surviving, you start building, and you become the version of yourself that your family, your friends, and most importantly, you can be proud of. DollarWise Central is here. Click the link, join now. Let's make your money work, and let's build a future that you actually feel
Wonder
good
if
about.
DollarWise
I'll
is
see you
also in
inside.
Canada.
Okay, but you have the conversation, you try to hit... He's saying he tries to have the conversation, and then you just don't hear it.
Because most of the time my brain will be like, are we as bad as my brain is making it?
What is your
And
brain
then,
making it? Where do you think you are?
Like under the water, sunken ship
How
territory.
much
like,
debt does the household have? How much? You, not you. How much debt does the household have?
In what way?
Get rid of the mortgage. How much debt does the household have? You two combined.
We have the car payment.
Including the family members, apparently.
I'm not sure.
This is important. We should be on the same page. Especially if you want to be like doom and gloom, which I kind of understand. You should at least know what the doom is, so you can gloom properly.
I understand like the basics of like the plan he has and like what he's doing.
But how much debt do you think the household has outside of the mortgage, though? Just think. What do you think? What is your gut telling you?
I don't quite know.
Come on, just gut. What's your gut telling you based on the conversations you had? Hit me.
I have no idea.
A number. Come on. And, I'm not going to take a
Yeah, these two needed a premarital counseling.
I'm going to answer. Based on the conversations you have, what would you think it is? If you had to do your best guess.
Like 11?
Okay. $43,000 of bad debt, high interest bad debt. Or family debt, 43. Then there's, of course, the mortgage of 302.
Man, 43,000 debt. That is crazy.
But okay. So we know what comes in. what went out last month. 7,000 comes in. How much went out last month? What do you think was spent? This includes on debt. I'd like to hear from you. And then I would like to hear your answer. What do you think?
I honestly don't know, like, right off the top of my
So
head.
this kind of makes sense that when he says that anything he talks about finances just kind of, if we're going to be doom and gloom, you got to at least kind of have any inkling of the numbers, right? What do you think was spent last month? Best guess.
Like, I have no idea.
Best guess, dude. I
don't know.
Just based on any conversations you have, what you've witnessed, what do you...
Just take a guess. If you wanna say 000, like she's so anal. Like she's like so anxious.
do you think went out? Including debt payments, including, everything, just everything.
If I had, like, something in front of me, like, I do best with paper, so...
You just told me you did bad with that at the beginning, so, like, a few minutes ago.
I'm a paper and pen person. Like, if I were to see it on a computer screen, then it's just, like...
Really? Are you sure? Because I think you're a not answer the question kind of person. Just best guess based on the conversations you guys have had. He talks to you, you don't listen. What do you think? 3,000. Okay, so 7,000 comes in, 3,000 gets spent total, even though your mortgage is probably close to that. Okay, and you?
I mean, I think last month we had some repairs or something, so it's probably like 7.5. It's not like
7,500. Okay, it was $17,159.03. What the fuck are we talking about? Yes, that is doom and gloom because that is apocalyptic because that is bad. That is $10,000 that comes in on a normal monthly basis. $10,000 more than comes home on a normal monthly
That
basis.
is crazy. They have an income of 7,000, but they spend 17,000 a month.
Come on, you're the one managing the finances. You're supposed to be the big guy, the guy who knows, the guy to talk to her.
Our, owning a home is great. We had our septic tank go out within a few months of us owning the home.
Good, then you shouldn't get a home unless you have a fully funded emergency fund.
So we had to replace that, and while they were doing that, they nicked one of the AC lines. In total, we spent like 9,000 in repairs on just the
expensive,
house.
but even still, let's say 9,000 just went to the repairs, which who even knows if that's what that happened that month. We're gonna find out. You still spent $1,000 more than came in outside of the repairs then by your own math.
We also had to buy a whole new bathroom set because of all this. The septic tank failed, so we had an inch of water in our tub. So I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't like to use toothbrushes and shit.
Listen, guys, I don't know. What's going on with this Discover Egg card? What I can't tell is the balance from last month was big, but it was also paid off, but then you tripled it. I can't tell, does this have a balance? Is it paid off every month? What is going on?
Well, my grandmother paid off the card and then let us use it.
Wait, what do you mean let you use it? Is it your card?
It's in our possession.
Is it in your name?
No.
This is in your grandma's name? You put $7,000 on your grandma's name? Your grandmother?
He's 23 years old. Wow.
Chill out it.
She's your grandma. What do you think she'd do? She's an old sweet lady. How old is she?
70s.
Oh, how the dare you? That's disgusting.
He's already
disgusting.
I mean,
7,000 salary a month.
Disgusting.
I mean, she believes that once she passes, all the debt disappears.
No, wow.
Credit card, yes. But there's going to be certain things to potentially settle, especially in the state of Texas, if you're taking advantage of any assets she might have. Are you expected to get any assets?
I don't believe so.
Okay, then you wouldn't have to worry about the settling, but someone else might that is going to get her assets. So you're passing this on to someone else that you're probably related to, potentially. Hey, I'm fun. You're just playing with your little ball there. Are you here? Like, what the fuck is going on? You're just looking down? Are you listening? Are you participating? Why the fuck are you guys here? Hello?
I'm here.
What am I doing here, dude?
I mean, we're obviously here for a reason.
Is she? Does she need to be here, or should I send her to the other fucking room? Huh?
Hey, Callan has a point. So like Caleb has a point. Like she says that she could look at the financials if she wanted to. Like she repeated that multiple times, but she looks like she was comfortable letting him take care of the financials. So I think she's the type of person that says like your salary is our salary, my salary is my salary. So it's not a good relationship.
Ruining my mood. You're bringing such dark energy to financial audit. Does she even know what she's doing right now? You're just being miserable to be around. All right, I brought you a proper American style wife to sit in. He's a good bottom, so he'll play for you for now.
Oh my god. So this other guy that just came, he's called, I think, Brandon. He sits in for like translation thing, and he's very good in his job. Like he translates the wishy-washy words of the guest into something practical. That's so funny.
Okay. Discover it. Again, this is what I tried to be on. I don't necessarily know how to... She knows what show she's on, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Don't you?
I know what show I'm on.
Yeah. Well, your name's Alexis, so... Okay. So I'm the Discover It, which you put on your grandma. This is your grandma. Your grandmother has this. Well, your grandma-in-law.
She suggested it because that was the only like short-term solution. We kind of had a long game plan for
Why'd you need this? Why'd you need this $7,078.90? Your cologne is very strong.
Can't take it with you when you're gone.
The cologne?
No, debt to Granny.
Okay.
Because we literally had sitting for a month.
Isn't that fraud? Isn't that like even if you say that the grandmother said yes to it, let's remove the factor that the grandmother said yes to it, and you're willingly using her credit card, knowing for a fact that if she passes away, the debt is somehow erased, and that's kind of like fraud. And even if let's say the grandmother fully knows what's going on, she gave you the credit card. She gave you the credit card of her own volition. She is the one that's participating in fraud, because if she racks up a huge debt and then she dies, like who's gonna pay for that? It's gonna be passed on by the bank to the consumers, so like to their customers. Like this guy is earning $7,000 a month. That is so scummy, to be honest. And like $4,000 is basically free money for his service from the government. Wow.
We had to go walk to our cabin on our property.
Months. So your grandma had to do this? Why didn't you? You should never get a house without a fully funded emergency fund. Why? This is the first gay male couple we've had, by the way.
So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm doing my best to have a comfortable amount of money as an emergency fund for, aside from the fact that I'm trying to save for a home, which is definitely costly here in Canada. The best home that I would be able to get is a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment, a condominium, which would be the mortgage. Like I would have to pay 20% of the apartment cost, which is about 40,000, and then the other costs like insurances, lawyers, fees, and everything, somewhere along 30,000. So I need 70,000, and I would need about 20,000 for emergencies. So I need to save up $100,000 by the end of the year. So it's a big headache. But I am in generous circumstances right now, owing to a very generous family that's taking me in for a few months. But I don't want to overstay my welcome because they're very good people.
By the way, I'm very excited about it.
I'm straight.
Dave's Field Communications are all over the place. Connect Team's team management app puts it all in one place. Well,
Because
should never get a house without a fully.
It's not as.
Why'd you do it?
It's a lot easier to get into it now than it is because I didn't have to put down anything for the house.
Great, and you should still have a fully funded emergency fund. How does that change that? You should never get into a house which is going to demand repairs and higher expenses in many different ways. But you get the advantage of the market grows, you get an equity position, it's great. Why would you do this without a fully funded emergency fund? Look what it did. Now you're putting $70,000 on grandma. $70,000 on grandma.
70,000
on grandma.
Wow.
It's with the way that the housing market was at the time, it just made sense to get into it now rather than later.
It does never make sense again. Look what it's done.
The house has gone up from 190.
Yes, and now you're in deep credit card debt, and a lot of it's on your grandma. This is what happens when you buy a house without a fully funded emergency fund. It doesn't make any sense. Now, Alexis.
Listen.
Is this how Alexis acts when she's home? Because, like, honestly, she was fighting on everything for no reason. She was so defensive. She was nothing. When we, obviously, of course, we're a little goony for the show, sure, but it's like, we want to get through these statements and stuff, and she just like, is this how she acts in all the financial conversations?
Sometimes, yeah.
To be fair, Grandma's had twice as long to work. We should be able to pull from that fund.
He's doing translation and mimicry.
I mean, it's the situation we were in.
Brandon is crazy. He's very intuitive.
How do you interact with her? How do you interact with her, though? If these are the
so crazy.
If this is how she is. Not this, obviously. This is a little bit of a bit. But before.
I mean, you know, it's just learning how to get the message across.
What have you learned? Sounds like we haven't come to a conclusion yet.
That some things are more touchy than others.
What's touchy? Apparently, just the word immigration makes her fucking go nuclear.
Yeah, some words are more touchy than others, but it's just how
she's an immigrant. That's not a bad thing.
Yeah. It's how...
Like, but why does that word trigger her? Okay, well, either way. Okay, cool. So what about the finances, though?
I mean, I tried to tell her and involve her, but, like, right now I'm in this position where a lot is, like, changed. Not financially, but, like, I expanded my debit cards into 3 to try and, like, section money for where it goes.
What does this have to do with communicating to her?
But my, like, budgeting app has gotten so out of sync.
Why?
Because it's changed so much.
Sounds like he's not using the right one, okay.
He's trying to sell his own app.
I don't know. I'll put you guys through therapy sessions with Soundermind. It's what I use. It's what I recommend the audience use as well. And I'll get you guys should use the Fizz credit card as well because, well, it's a debit card that builds credit. Fizz card. And I'll also gift her a course career certification so once she gets into the workforce, she can leverage it to land a good job. Those are the resources we're able to provide, plus all of our educational classes and app. But there's Discovery card again with the grandma. This is so... Okay, so are you making the minimums on this? Like, what's the plan?
So, she's going to be living in the cabin that we have on our property. And so, like, she makes the minimum out of security for herself. And then whatever I can throw in. And then I pay the bills for the cabin. And then she puts that money towards the car.
Why overcomplicate this? It's so weird. Just make the fucking payment.
I'm working on it.
Yeah, he's over planning.
You know what's outrageous? Paying $80 a month for a phone plan just for your dad to text you a singular okay to your long text messages. But Helium Mobile, today's sponsor, said forget that and dropped the price all the way down to $0 a month. No contracts, no credit card. You just bring your own phone and number and boom! You've got a real phone plan with 3 gigs of data, 300 texts, and 100 minutes of calls. It's perfect for light users, travelers, or if you're, I need a backup line in case my current provider ghosts me type of situation. And then there's a new Sprout plan for kids for only $5 a month. Your kid gets the first phone line and you stay fully in control. With unlimited calls and texts, your kid is always just a phone call away. You can set limits, track usage, and even decide how they spend their cloud points they earn. And that is right. It rewards them for using the service. And you approve where the rewards go. Parenting hack? Maybe. Need more data? They've got you covered with their Air and Infinity plans at only $15 or $30 a month, respectively, which is still way cheaper than the other carriers. You can opt in location sharing to rack up those cloud points and spend them on digital cards on Amazon, Apple, Sephora, whatever's in the cloud store.
I'm gonna take a look what that
nationwide
is.
5G thanks to their
He's
partner
very
network,
good.
boosted by the
He's
Helium
gotten
network,
me
a
interested in this
decentralized network
product.
built by regular people, which is somehow more reliable and way cheaper. Think Uber for cell towers. So whether you're trying to cut costs, parent smarter, or just escape the contract chaos, Helium Mobile's got a plan for you. From $0 to unlimited. Click the link in the description to check it out. Let's get back to the video.
I've been making like $500 a month into it.
I fucking hope so, but that's not what I literally see in your most recent statement. Also, by the way, you know, when you guys were going out to eat, as you know, stuff like that, of course, which we know you did in here. But this credit card, Grandma bailed us out. Grandma bailed us out. Grandma bailed us out in order to survive, to make the repairs. Oh, wait, we're going to McDonald's, Marshall's, Ross Store, Infest WAP.
Partial.
So that's what I was talking about. They will ask, like the 3 months onboarding, they will ask everything, every document that you have for the past year. And it's going to be investigated on.
For work, partial is because we couldn't do dishes.
Partial? I didn't say partial. Oh, partial. Partial. So Ross Store and Marshall's is for work?
I had to get a suitcase for work.
So you had to go to 2 locations for a suitcase?
The company reimbursed me for that, and I put that towards
Which one? You went to 2?
For both of them.
And okay, and the McDonald's and PayPal and the Infest Away.
That was our pest treatment to get termite treatment around the cabin in our house.
$737. So Grandma covered all that.
And mosquito stuff.
It was the separate thing. It was $500, but again, it was $7,000 of purchases. We got gas. Morgan Podetary.
Podiatry.
Podiatry. That we didn't have the money at the time to get.
M&M Worth.
I don't know what's an M&M
that's
Worth.
To have the septic tank pumped. So we had to have it pumped
and
before.
Then lots of Walmart. Again, this is all Grandma, though, at 21.24% interest. So she's having to have that interest accrue on her life.
I'm trying to pay as much as I can.
Okay.
That's not good enough. That's so scummy.
Kiss your wife, please.
That's for later.
Oh, God.
All right. Okay, Navy Federal. What's going on with this one? Because let me tell you, this one you did not put a big payment to. And we know why, because the last one was only Grandma putting a big payment towards it. But whatever. Navy Federal Credit Union. On here, we owe Oh, my fuck. Oh, you're over the fucking limit. Your hubby is over the limit. You're over the limit. $5,478 is what the balance is. You're over by $78.26. Why?
The interest is high on it, and minimum payments just barely make enough.
No, you little. Hey, guess what? If you make your minimum payments, it covers the interest enough where it at least goes down.
Caleb's editor must be working hard to edit out all of his swear words. That's so funny.
It wouldn't be above the limit. That's a lie. How about the $131.81 of purchases? Maybe that's what did it.
Yeah.
This is what you want to attach yourself to for the rest of your life?
What's the point of having a card if you can't spend on it?
He's trying to.
Alexis.
Is that what she would have
He's just
said?
channeling the wife right now.
Oh, she would have said, "Oh, I'm an immigrant."
I mean, it's what we
Now you
had
have
to do.
cry. Okay.
God. Oh, this is Caleb and his
Canada
staff
to
is
America,
just so
very
funny.
Stressful. Biggest culture shock that anyone has ever experienced. Okay.
Things have gotten pretty expensive lately, and I need to generate some additional income.
I stumbled upon.
So why the fuck are you purchasing on a card that you cannot pay off that is accruing $79.55 in interest?
Because I prioritize paying my bills, and sometimes there's a bit of overlap.
What? What? That doesn't make sense to me. Can you translate for him?
I prioritize paying the bills that result in things getting shut off.
Yes, because on here it's Amazon and DoorDash. What the fuck, dude? No, that's not a joke. I know we're being silly. That's not a fucking joke, though. Amazon and DoorDash pushing you over the limit?
I mean, yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I had to buy some stuff.
Yeah, pull up your Amazon for me then.
I don't even remember what I got.
Uh-huh.
It's probably something
I
for the
had to
house.
buy some stuff. Now that I'm gonna see it, it's well. I don't even remember.
Why do
Minimum
people sign
monthly
up for this
payment
show?
Is 133.55.
Maybe they're desperate.
Hey, buddy, how long does this take to pay off if you only make your minimum monthly payments and you don't purchase on it? Which you still pull up your phone. That's not an excuse to put it away. If you only make your minimum monthly payments and you do not purchase, of which you are incapable of not purchasing. But how long does it take?
Forever.
How long does it take, do you think?
I mean, it's probably like.
And he
10
works
years,
from
12
home.
years.
21.
I'm gonna use this year's tax returns to pay off a chunk of it.
Why would you? What tax returns? What's your big chunk of tax returns? Why would you get something so big?
Because putting her
Your
social
withholdings are insane, huh?
Because originally we were filing as just me because I only had the income coming in, but because immigration wanted us, the lawyers wanted us to have evidence that I'm not filing as single, we put an extension on it. So now we should be getting back about $2 or $3 grand.
That's not gonna pay this off, buddy. You got that'll bring.
It's gonna make it.
That'll make it not above max. We got eye cups. This probably shows she can walk around and not see that she's in a different country, so it doesn't terrify her. Cable splitters. You got more cable things. Audio speaker wiring. Someone's doing a fucking project. AirPods 4. Fuck you. Come on, you don't need that to survive. Memory foam ear tips. Travel backpack. Indoor outdoor cat thing. Large eyeglass cleaner. Oh, a fucking mount for our Apple TV. Come on. Oh, you're just getting so much bullshit on here. So much bullshit. And then what's in our car? Oh, $185 fucking speaker. No. Fuck off. No, I'm deleting it. Off. Off. Dude, you don't have money. You're maxed out on a credit card and you're using a tax return to fucking even just get it below max. It's so stupid. I'd be careful touching that. An immigrant's been touching it. Listen.
Wow. That's just so crazy. They're really dissing the poor lady out.
Why the fuck are we purchasing so much Amazon when this is
Jesus.
over maxed out and you have no hope of paying it off? So tax returns the only way and you're only getting something special because of her.
Because I have house projects that.
You don't get to do fucking little wannabe projects and get AirPods and all this wiring and speakers. Those house projects, those are house wants, not house needs. Getting the out, yeah, that's a house need. This little speaker project and the little cat thing and this not needs. What?
With the AirPods in defense, though, is
So you didn't have to hear her yap?
No,
or is that what she wears when you try to talk about budgeting to her?
Because we have enough of a cushion that some of those household luxuries are okay
Cushion?
once.
Are you? What are you talking about? You are over maxed out. What are you actually talking about? What cushion are you talking about? Possibly. You spent $10,000 more than you brought in. Cushion. You're using your grandma's credit card.
Cushion. Like he doesn't have. What's the term? There's a specific term. Disposable income. He doesn't have disposable income at all.
Cushion. Fuck you, cushion. Fuck you, cushion. There's not. How dare you even use that word? Legitimately, how dare you? That's disgusting. You're using your grandma's credit card and you're using the word cushion. No, this is not funny. This is not fucking funny. You're using your grandma's credit card. And you use the word cushion with me. Fuck you. That is some bullshit. What the kind of man are you?
Wow,
That's
he's
disgusting.
He's right though.
What do you have to say? That's fucking bullshit. Oh, more DoorDash, by the way, and also the pharmacy. The pharmacy's fine, but you got Panda Express DoorDash. $312 of interest this year so far on a 17.24% interest rate. Yeah, what do you have to say?
You only live life once.
Good. Die, put it on everyone else around you.
Damn right. American dream.
You don't care about fucking your wife when you die?
She'll be set for life.
Not for life. What do you have?
Like $600,000 in life insurance.
Okay, that's not for life.
And she gets my VA retirement and
That's for life, but even still, it's not going to be perfect.
other military benefits of like
Set for
500.
life is millions, though. Come on.
I mean, the house will be paid, all the debts will be paid. She'll be getting $500.
That's a bad
in
outlook in
income
life.
every
This
month.
is that's
Whoa,
very scary.
$500. Look at you. You're set up for life.
On top of that $4,000.
Oh my goodness, set up for life. That's not. Look what she's doing. She's not able to survive as it is. You guys can't survive off of 7. What are you talking about?
I mean,
4,000 isn't insignificant, but you can't even survive off of 7.
Once it's all
Also,
paid off.
only live once. Fuck you. You're statistically likely to live a very long life.
Not what after the army did to me.
Yeah, you were a
don't even know what that
calibrator.
means.
Good
What the fuck?
God.
Has China invaded that I'm not aware of? I don't know. Okay, so listen. You are probably gonna make it to your 60s, at least, right?
Yeah, probably.
Good.
Hopefully.
That's like
You're
40 years away.
23. You've been out of the sun. Wear sunscreen next time. Okay.
It's a hard 23.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you got more than double your life left. You only live once. You're fucking the rest of your life right now.
Yeah.
And your only life once is getting Panda Express. That's a sad YOLO.
The current American situation.
Go on. You might have to educate me on that.
A majority, I mean, your show exists, so, a good portion of Americans are barely making it by.
Yeah, and this is your choice. You're getting DoorDash Panda Express. Fuck you. You're not barely making it by because of the system. In fact, the system's only supporting you thanks to my taxes. You're welcome. Okay, so... a little confused. You're gonna use the system as an excuse? This is what it's like for every American. Dude, you're getting DoorDash, spending $10,000 more than you make, putting everything on your grandma, and you say YOLO. Fuck you. That's you.
I mean, it'll all work out.
No. There have been people that lose their house. There have been people that lose their cars. There are people that go through bankruptcy many times. There are people who die in poverty. That is incorrect. What the fuck are you talking about?
I mean, I'll slowly be chipping away at it.
Says who? Says when? You are putting money on grandma's credit card. You are saying many things that have no basis in reality right now.
There's just adjustment periods where you have to keep trying.
What are you adjusting? Because your only adjustment literally last month was putting money on grandma's credit card. That's where you're headed right now. Where's your adjustment?
Shift things around a little.
What the fuck are you talking about, dude? You don't even know what you're talking about. That doesn't make sense. You're not doing any of that. All right, let's bring her back in. Brandon's cologne's very strong.
I smell good, don't I?
No. All right, well, the news. She's decided that she hates me. And she's not coming back on. So we're doing this solo, my friend. And you're going to have to try to communicate it to her.
Okay.
Which, good luck.
Yeah.
Intuit QuickBooks is proud to team up with the NHL and help Canadian players in business perform at the top of their game. Because to win, you need a smart game plan.
So I got distracted.
I don't know.
So let's just focus on Ark for a bit. I just got distracted and accidentally fed my whole inventory to my gacha. The problem with gachas is they will consume your stuff. So goodbye to my cryo. Like, it's now gone. No. Oh. Did I put them somewhere else? That's like a whole lot of stuff. God, everything in my inventory is gone. Okay, I have to focus on this one because I lost all of my inventory. Like, eee. Oh no. That's crazy that they managed to eat everything in just one gulp. No, I got distracted for a bit. This is a bug that happens in Arc. Like if you put some things in a folder, they're not supposed to get transferred if you like do a transfer all with your stuff. But sometimes some things happen and they get transferred. Dang. That's all of my powerful tames. My dread horse. That is crazy. Let's see. Are you here? Nope, it's not here also. Well, that is pretty much it for a lot of my tames. Somewhere out there it has become a gacha crystal. Oh, I think if I remember correctly. Oh no, my Mosasaur, my Basilosaurus. I lost all of them. Oh, let me think. Where could I possibly put them? Huh, even my black box Doedicurus is gone. Let me see, can I do something? How about I do this? Accidentally fed everything to the gacha. Well, it is what it is. It happened. I'm supposed to be doing defeat one beta brood mother. Did I put stuff here? Did I put it here? No pity dope. Well, all of them are gone. So give me a second there, Caleb. I'll listen to you later. Because I just lost a bunch of stuff that is very, very important. Yeah, that's pretty much gone. Oh well. There's the next event. I will have to start breeding new stuff. Yep. Well, things happened, but it's an accident. Oh well, and it's already 12 midnight. I guess I'm gonna try and knock myself out to sleep.